Did we do it? Are we on Rumble?
We did it.
We did it. Good night.
All right, bye, everyone.
Great show. Hey, welcome to Friday Night Tights, everybody. We are live on YouTube and the Green app. The Green app, which we'll call Rumble. Tonight we'll just call it Rumble. Screw it. We're back. Oh, by the way, I didn't tell all you guys before. We're just ditching intros now. So just so you know.
Okay, then.
You all got
things prepared.
You got all your little names there in your corners, and it's fine. Of course, we're going to introduce our guest, and I guess we have to introduce our new permanent co-host who can never leave, by the way. And it's great to have lesbian, LGBTQ plus representation. Disparu!
Represent diversity on this panel. On all the American streams, I see we got such a diverse panel, and I'm just sitting there going, "You're all American." Like to the rest of the world, that just makes you the same. So, like, oh well, you're a lesbian. No, I'm just from a different continent. That's what matters to me.
Mr. Roddick, I thought we were auditioning to replace as baby heel face. I actually came with an audition script for to take his place. I'm performing, if you don't mind, a segment from Mr. Face's Starfield pronoun rant.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
I love nothing more than to be dragged down every fucking conceivable opportunity so you can fucking current day us. You can get immersed in our world. Yeah. Well, yeah, guess what? Fucking pronouns. Fucking gender ambiguity. Fucking current day California shit. Because it's all fucking no. Because you're boring. Because you're so fucking boring. Thank you, Mr. Roddick.
Wow.
You have my vote.
Well,
I wish I'd known ahead of time.
as you know, as a former executive in the entertainment industry, we will take that under consideration. I also need you to meet me in my suite in the Four Seasons upstairs. There's just a couch in there. Just sit on the couch. Don't worry about anything.
Show you two images, one of a female and one of a potential female, and find out which one you're more attracted to. And then we'll determine which way that goes.
We'll see how it goes.
If you know the lyrics to the Crying Game,
It's called "Pin the Penis on the Tranny."
Don't call us. We'll
well,
call you.
there goes monetization for this live stream. Good thing we have an ad read today.
First 5 minutes.
Did I
I would never do an ad read on Geeks and Gamers, Gary. I would never do that. So.
You're right. He would have me do it.
Did I screw up?
By the way, just like Hollywood, people demanded hot lesbians, and we gave you an ugly lesbian. So welcome, Disparu. We appreciate that.
Well, according to the Acolyte, they did a whole first episode with an ugly loser, and then all the journalists were like, "That's exactly what we want. As long as it's evil, we don't care about his face." I'm like, what am I even reading?
I can change him.
He's not conventionally attractive, and then likened him to a rat. I'm like, what is happening?
Wow, Journo's horny for evil. Go figure.
Disparu, your audio's a tick low. You're a little low.
I can fix that.
So yeah, just like
I just want to thank all of you guys for welcoming me this Friday.
Welcome, Paul Chato, by the way, to the show.
Oh, are you still banned on Twitter?
Yes, I've banned on Twitter, and
Free Paul.
maybe at the 5-minute mark, I'll tell you what it was that got me, what I said that got me banned.
All right, yeah.
Nice.
I don't know. That's a mystery.
I will reveal for the first time
Is
what
it a
exactly I tweeted that
is it
got
a
me banned.
permaban? Is it a temp ban?
Permaban.
Oh,
Holy shit! Damn.
Full on permaban.
Congrats,
No
I guess. I
There
mean,
must be
honestly,
hard R in there.
every day
That's
I open up Twitter, I kind of like, man, I remember when I was banned. It was glorious.
That's a badge of honor.
God damn. Especially after like the get together that happened a few days ago that was all over Twitter. Everybody was sharing the videos. They were talking about how disgusting it was. I'm like, I wish I was not on Twitter today at all. It was disgusting. It was really bad. But hey, you know, we live and learn, right? We still open up Twitter every day, look for that good old content, baby. So that's what it's there for.
That's
Well,
what it's there.
It's nothing like opening up Twitter and then seeing a drag queen writhing on the ground doing the Macarena with split crotch panties. That's all.
In front of a
You got it in
4-year-old.
June somehow.
Yeah.
And it's at
Like
Disney World.
And that's the Disney World. That's Epcot, the new Epcot exhibit.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah.
Well, we're
So
starting out
hopefully
all
that can be
right.
fun for you guys.
This whole show might be a Rumble exclusive. We keep going.
Back the intros just to make the buffer zone. You know, we need the buffer zone before we get into conversation.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, sorry. I
Don't
screwed up.
sorry. Don't be sorry.
Yeah, what
Don't
is
be
this? No
sorry.
intros. All these changes that are going on, Gary. I don't like change.
You've
changed. Like I don't
Shock
care what it
therapy.
is. Like freeing the slaves. Like whatever. I don't like change.
Women
Well,
getting the
man,
right to
happy
vote.
I
5th
mean,
of July.
So many things.
Hi, Twitter.
Hi, Twitter.
How you doing?
What's up?
You all have
Cheers.
Juneteenth to celebrate. Give me a couple days here.
You know what? It's nothing like going to a strip bar, seeing a black stripper, and paying reparations right there.
That's how we get ours. We're in these streets. We're in these streets.
I like how Gary kind of floats it out there, like, "Hey, it might be a Rumble exclusive. We dial it back, and everybody dials it up." No,
It's like you made it a challenge. So.
I don't even have control of my own show. So for the 309th episode in a row. So let's get this out of the way. So yes, we're dual streaming on Rumble. I am over there exclusively for some content, including a bonus hour of this show. So we're dual streaming, but the 4th hour will only be on Rumble. So if you're on Rumble, you won't have to do anything. If you're on YouTube, you'll have to go over to Rumble to watch the last hour. I'm also doing a Nerdrotic Nooner on Mondays just for Rumble, and Forbidden Frontier is going to be just for Rumble, although we're still going to be doing clips on the YouTube channel. So that's the changes there. We're also, here's the other changes. Might as well rip the Band-Aid off, Ryan. We're doing ad reads because we're doing the bonus hour on Rumble. We're going to cut off the super chats at the 2-hour mark. We're going to turn them off. So we make sure we get them all read before we go to Rumble. And it's a work in progress. We'll see what works. We'll see what doesn't. And we'll let you know
accordingly.
And change accordingly. Because
You know what show it is?
yeah. I mean, I planned, like, we were supposed to start like 4 weeks ago. So, and we're starting now. So that tells you how things go.
What's the special content for the Rumble part? Is what Chrissy's going to be putting cream on her stretch marks?
Yes, and yeah, whatever gets us there.
Well, the reason
Chrissy's a team player, and we really appreciate that.
I like Chrissy.
I brought enough cream for everyone.
what Gary doesn't want to mention is, so the reason the Rumble deal got held up is because Az was going to be nude for the Rumble hour, and then Rumble rejected it and said you have to fire him. So we fired him.
Well,
and
no,
that's
then he conveniently died. So I mean, that kind of took care of the problem. We fixed the glitch. So there you go. There you go.
You're in Texas, right, Gary? You know what this is.
Buc-ee's.
Yes.
The citadel of capitalism.
It's an amazing place.
It really
ground.
is. It really is. Like, that's the type of place where, I'm from Alabama. That's the type of you actually have to put your shoes and your shirt on to go to a place like Buc-ee's. Like, that's fancy stuff right
That's
there.
Sunday
Okay?
morning.
You have to
class.
dress up your sister wife, and it's like going to church on Sunday.
That's fancy.
We're buying a pellet.
Hey,
grill.
isn't there I think there is a Buc-ee's in Alabama. I thought I
You
saw
eat
one.
all your spaghetti, son, or we ain't going to Buc-ee's this weekend. Okay, that's pretty much.
This was in North Carolina. I'm actually heading down to Hilton Head in another couple of weeks to see Mexican Iron Man.
Oh, right on.
And we'll pass a Buc-ee's. If anyone needs anything, just tell me.
Well, just up the road from me, we have the world's largest Buc-ee's, which is as big as a Walmart. And it's, by the way, if you don't know, Californians, it's a gas station. It's a gas station. That's what it is.
It's not just a gas station.
But it's not just a gas station.
It's more than that.
No, it is. It is. I mean, when you go into a Buc-ee's, like, the energy is off the charts. Like, there's people everywhere. It's still very clean. It's still very well organized.
Why is Buc-ee's not the ad
It's
read?
the best thing ever.
Energy
Buc-ee's.
is off the charts as people fill up their 96-ounce sodas.
Yes, in the cleanest bathrooms like that you can eat off of.
amazing.
You have
You can eat
1,000
your-
pumps. You have 1,000
hell
pumps.
yeah.
You have food being prepared in there. It's like walking to Disneyland when it was good.
Yeah.
The
Pork
same energy.
sandwiches.
Pulled pork sandwiches. Yeah.
The
they're good.
brisket is so good.
Yep.
Yeah, Bucky's is awesome. Bucky's is awesome. No, we're not getting paid by them.
No, we're not.
Oh, that's just how awesome they
And its
are.
mascot is a beaver.
Yes.
Which
All right.
Canadians know a lot about.
Yes, hairy beavers making
Hairy
dams, blocking everything, blocking everything. While you're still alive, anyway. While
Well,
you're
as
still
a
alive.
Canadian, Bucky's, I don't want to belabor this. It is truly an American, quintessential American experience. You pull up your 40-foot RV rig, fill it up, and leave it there. You go in. You don't even need to go to the parking lot.
Nope.
You just
There's enough pumps. Well,
There's
for
enough
one, it would
pump?
take forever to fill up that RV.
It's
But
it's
I know.
amazing.
oh man,
It's amazing.
What an amazing
you know what isn't amazing? The Acolyte.
nice segue.
It's the
You like
opposite.
that? It's
Yeah.
the opposite of amazing. It's abysmal. It's abysmal. But the last episode, we were just discussing this. Each episode has a memeable moment.
Yes.
Some multiple, but each episode has a memeable moment, which has made this go on for so long, and it's gotten so many people upset. I don't know if we got permission yet. I'll have to check. I'm gonna, hopefully we can play the Grizzlies video today because it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. I watched it earlier. Go watch it when you get a chance. Who left?
As
Garrett?
I did. I got to go get some.
Oh, okay.
but
you know, you have too many people on the stream. You're like, I can't even remember who left.
I know. And then you feel bad because this is like whoever it is, you didn't know. So like, they're not that
I mean, in
important.
theory, you're supposed to feel bad. I don't.
But I like
no-
doing my Paul Lynn in the middle of celebrity squares.
But no, like the Acolyte, like I just saw. So Leslie Headland is now blaming review bombing, which just a few days ago we got the was it Wired article that said that there what the hell happened?
We were trying to get. I think Garrett and I hit the button, so and added him and then took him out. And he gave me this look.
And people thought things were changing around here.
I missed
Anyway,
Yeah.
there was a Wired article that came out a few days ago that said review bombing is over. It's done. And basically in that article, which linked back to me and many other YouTubers, I guess letting us know that we have no impact. And towards the end, it said basically that review bombing has no impact. Kathleen Kennedy and the Lucasfilm executives are not paying attention to any of these things. It doesn't really matter. So you guys don't have to worry about doing all of your review bombing anymore. And then now Leslie Headland's coming out talking about how the show's being review bombed. It's fantastic. Like they can't get out of their own way. And then the whole Elden Ring thing where they're trying to tie Elden Ring into it because Elden Ring is trending and everybody loves Elden Ring and they're bringing Elden Ring into the Acolyte about the designs. It's pathetic right now. It's absolutely pathetic. And I love it.
No, they,
There was even a thing where they were talking about how this scene even happened. And she's like, oh, yeah, the moment we saw him in his costume, we realized we're going to have to rewrite the second half of the entire series just to fit him in. So as he was in most of this episode, it was all last minute. And they saw him in the outfit and thought, we need to get you out of that outfit stat. And just wrote essentially a softcore episode for him to like do double entendres in. It's the weirdest twist ever. But it worked on the journalist.
You know, it felt so on the nose. And remember, they've already come out and said Star Wars is a mostly male brand. What should we do to attract the male audience? I know, get a guy to strip naked. That'll really attract our male audience.
Well, the Salon article specifically says this episode is done through a female lens, which is directly contradictory to a male lens. So they're now just going, yeah, we won. You know, it's for us now. You can all get lost. It's like, we don't.
It's
a very
very
binary
much-
response too.
Yep.
It's very much in line with a lot of these like fan fictions you see out there. This is some fucking female weird fantasy they have where they want this abusive, terrible, horrible fucking dude to do it to them because they care about them. Right? You saw it with Kylo Ren and Rey, all these weird shippers that had this fantasy, this story that they wanted to see play out on screen of this dude who did horrible things get together with Rey. You're seeing the same thing play out. She just watched this dude snap Yord's neck and turn Jackie into Swiss cheese. And it takes all of 5 minutes of her getting a look at his dick and a little conversation while he's sitting there stewing something, and she is ready to go full dark side.
Yeah, but you don't know whether when she saw Yord die that she got a wide on.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm pretty sure it made her moist. So
yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
And was it intentional to make the planet or the island they're on look like planet Haktua or whatever the fuck it's called?
No, she did an interview about that.
I do think it was intentional to make it look, but she confirmed that is not.
Yeah, no,
that is not Octu.
But
different country.
It looked very close to it, and I wonder if that was an intentional thing to try to get discussions going and speculation. Or something like that.
I think that it was intentional, not for like discussion, speculation of whether it is there, but because of it very much is like Last Jedi in terms of this like Rey Kylo dynamic. She's very famously said she loves Last Jedi.
Didn't they film this
Jeremy
in Ireland? Right.
So that Last Jedi, I think, was
like all Ireland
off the coast of Ireland.
Yeah.
This one, I think, was it Argentina or
isn't it like Skellig Michael Island is the
something
one
like that? Yeah,
that was the one Last Jedi.
I think they were definitely. I agree with Ryan. They wanted to make you think of it, but
I think it was just handy that Sith Green put in a wheelchair ramp arm bars at the end.
That was very nice. ADL compliant. Yes,
it was.
He doesn't want to get sued.
No,
he doesn't want to get sued. But. Yeah, it definitely probably. Well, for one, it's called Unknown Planet. Why in the hell would you say that?
Yeah,
unless the planet's going to be a reveal. The planet.
Like, why would you introduce anything? Why would you say Unknown Planet? Because there's just nobody knows what this planet is, even the people that are inhabiting it.
It's just got 3 birds on it. I mean, literally all they show you is this one family of birds. You're like, that's the only life they've got. Interesting.
I actually think I know what the planet is. I think they're drawing it from the EU. I think it's going to be revealed maybe not this season, but at some point it's the planet Baldemnik, which ties into a story with Darth Plagueis and Darth Tenebris and finding veins of cortosis. I'm almost positive that's what it is. Whether they'll call it that, whether they'll reveal it this season, I'm not sure.
Oh, so it's meant as a mystery.
Another one.
Yes. Another
mystery you don't care about.
Yeah,
right.
Because I'm just on the edge of my seat to find out what name of the planet they're on. Like, that'll get me to watch the next episode. I'm sure.
Can we please stop having Osho wake up in a start? Like
yes, 2 episodes in a row.
Beginning of the last episode was her unconscious and waking up shocked because she doesn't know what's going on. That's happened multiple times.
4
in this series.
4 or 5 at this point.
So if it made any sense and they actually made this well and you wanted to do some kind of Fight Club riff, you wouldn't have put so many scenes where those two were in the same place together. I think it's just bad writing. They wanted to, especially when she gets knocked out by a force push two episodes in a row and wakes up 2 episodes in a row. And yeah, she's always doing this. And I'm not going to think there's anything to it. I'm not going to give Disney Star Wars credit anymore. For anything
anymore. When did you ever?
You know what
okay,
the reason is?
I did when I thought the big reveal would be a woman and not like on the nose.
Okay.
That was my fault. All right.
Yeah. I said it was going to be him. Go ahead, Ryan.
I think the reason this is happening is because they have such a poorly crafted story, and they wanted to get Osha alone with him. So like, we have no other way to do it. So let's just knock her out so he can drag her to this place. So she's just along for the ride as opposed to actually being a character.
Well, it happens every week. The plot is so bad that everyone comes out with all these theories of what it could be. Maybe they're hinting at this and this, and they never are. It's never happened. Like with the whole, he's got Kylo Ren's music in the background. That must mean he's a Knight of Ren. And it turns out, no, it was just hinting at the future romance in the next episode. That's all it was. And she said that in an interview. Like, everyone is writing better stories than Leslie Headland is.
Well, this happened with WandaVision when everybody was like, oh, it's got to be Mephisto. And
she's like, who's Mephisto?
And then, Jack Schaefer's like, we don't even know who that is. Haha.
Mephisto is the name of one of my sex toys in my
That's probably more accurate. Well, far more accurate. So
what threw me?
It's always on set.
I'm amazed at how enamored they are with their tiny mysteries. Like, we all know when they're on the island and she sees Sith Green walk off with his gym bag going for his yoga lesson at Planet Hollywood.
That's what it looked like too.
And the thing is, like, they're treating us like idiots. we know he knows that she's following him. Like, this is so stupid. If this was properly written, she would get out of the cave, see him, and go, "Hey, asshole, what the fuck are you doing?" And he would just wave his arm to say, "Come on, follow me." That would make way more sense.
Considering he just, like, the last time she was conscious, he tried to kill her. That would probably be a problem.
And was on a completely different planet.
He threw a lightsaber at her. I
No,
mean,
at May.
maybe he just meant to, or was that May?
That was May.
No,
That was May.
he did.
No,
did try and kill
tried killing
Osha. Yeah,
both of
He does try to kill OSHA, though.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
He
it's
does
not
try to
like
kill
it's
her.
track
Their
anymore.
target audience are morons.
Yes.
Their target audience. That's who they're explaining every single little thing, because the people that they are pitching this to don't know anything. They think, oh, that's surprising. Whoa, ketosis. Oh my God. This is from the EU. I read on Wikipedia just now. These are the people.
Yeah.
These
But
are the
on
people
top
they
of that, Garrett, not only are they targeting idiots, the people making this are idiots. And they think, like, I need to spell everything out, because if I was watching this, I wouldn't understand it. That's what they're thinking. And so
It's
they're writing
for
to
idiots
their own
by idiots.
intelligence level.
They're also
It's
depraved
creepy.
too, because like, isn't this supposed to be for families, for kids? And it's like, oh, you're just gonna have a line like, "Hey, if you're not gonna come in and enjoy me, can you at least, give me my clothes?"
I don't mind that really too much at all. It wasn't like it was gratuitous or anything like that. Especially when you're talking about a Sith who, one of the things that they do is they give into their passions. That's like 100% what Sith do, and that's a way that they would try to corrupt people as well. So I really don't mind them taking that
Do
angle.
you think that was their motivation behind it, Ryan? Really,
That's
to honor Star Wars lore with what they were
I'm not
doing?
saying they're honoring Star Wars lore, but I don't have a problem with this because I'm not a little fucking pansy, right? I don't have that big of a problem with the idea that you
called
saw
Odin a pansy.
the back of a shirtless man. My God, the fucking
When you
horror.
know their
I'm gonna faint and
motivations,
pass
when
out
you
while I
know their
clutch my
motivations
pearls.
behind
But
it,
I don't have
and
in
the
general a
intended
problem with
audience
that.
for it
The
too.
problem is that it was so fucking poorly done, and she turns in like 15 seconds. And you can't tell me that this dude's got like a massive dick or something, so that can't possibly be.
Well,
Bro,
we
the
can't
whole
even
thing
tell.
was the whole thing was meant to be sexualized. Fuck all that. Disney doesn't understand Sith lore. They don't fucking get any of that. This was 100% sexually driven to push more of this bullshit into Star Wars. That's what it was for. Just like Yord taking his fucking shirt off for no fucking reason earlier in the series. What was the point of that?
Well, they love that.
What was the point of that? Was that some kind of hidden Jedi meaning, Ryan?
The sex
I
death
can't
cult
believe
too.
Luke Skywalker had his shirt off in Empire Strikes Back.
He was
What were they
in a
trying to say
tank.
to me
He
then?
had to.
All
He
I'm
had to be.
saying-
There was a story reason for that.
All I'm fucking saying is when you are looking at somebody who is a user of the dark side of the Force, this is part of the way that they would potentially try to manipulate somebody. And they even go further when they're talking about the relationship that she potentially may have had with Jackie, which is bullshit because they knew each other for all of 2 seconds. But I don't have an inherent problem with that. And the idea that it's depraved to show the back of someone's, like, to show someone's
It's not just
back
that.
as
It's
they're getting a
everything
full
that's
trial.
implied in the entire scene too,
the
though. Like
language.
again, all
Yeah,
those
so
things.
that-
Why
Odin
would I
is
want any
right,
kids
because
watching
his
that? That's what I'm
language-
saying.
You're telling
he
me
said,
that-
how does it feel in your hand? Ooh, man, like,
Well,
From a
isn't
story
it
standpoint,
thick?
that had the same story standpoint reasoning as Luke when he had his shirt off. You're telling me from a story standpoint, based on the motivations behind the people behind the story.
No, I think
you're telling me
it's-
that 100% no.
I-
Not even
I mean,
fucking close.
the idea
I
to
think-
call this depraved is fucking wild.
I
to me.
think
Have you heard Leslie Headland
No.
talk?
Do I think that there are Disney Star Wars fans out there that are depraved and want to see a
Leslie
literal scene
Headland
them
is one of
in
them.
Star Wars? Yes, I do. But in terms of
Oh,
the
there she is.
itself,
Where's
not
she looking at
depraved,
his
I'm talking
junk?
Where
about
is she
the
looking
smell.
right now?
okay.
looking at
All
his
right. Well,
dick.
yeah, she is.
The question is,
So the question is,
does it-
like, I don't care if, like, I personally don't give a shit if men get objectified. Objectify us all the fuck we want. We don't give a fuck. It's the inconsistency, and then you make Amandla Stenberg fucking frumpy as hell, and that's like it just shows. But we have actual Disney Plus audio description, which is just a gold mine for YouTubers, by the way, which I can't believe I haven't thought of.
Ri-
We have the
Ryan's-
clip. We have the clip.
Ryan's blessing is his curse right now. He knows way too much about Star Wars, and he's dealing with people that know nothing about it with the people that write the show. That's ultimately what it comes down to. You know way too much about it, and they know nothing about it.
That's
And you're-
also only from his perspective, because
but Pablo Hidalgo,
like a problem.
But hang on,
that's
has
only
this
from the
happened?
Sith's perspective. She is still supposedly a good Jedi who is literally creeping on him, stalking him, and watching him undress. And like, well, he knew he was there. Yeah, but she didn't know that.
She's
Like,
not a
if anything,
Jedi.
she is the creepy one in that situation.
Well, here we go.
The Sith reaches the edge of the placid pool. He unslings his bag from his shoulder and unpacks it, while Osha observes from a hiding spot in the rocks. As he begins to untie a belted knot from around his waist, she straightens up for a better look. He begins to undress, revealing a prominent scar on his well-toned back. Dropping his billowy-legged hakama pants, he steps forward with the sunlight accentuating his taut muscles. He wades barefoot into the pool. Keeping her predatory gaze on him, she lies in wait behind some rocks closer to the water's edge.
His upper muscle.
It's like
Is that the actual the audio description, or
That's
just
the audio description
That's the
on
Disney Plus audio description.
Oh, gee, yeah, that's not the frame.
What?
Very
You
gaze.
could not tell
love
me
this.
that wasn't written by a thirsty woman. That
I'm
was
very interested in
But
Star
she's not
Wars.
thirsty. She's lesbian.
Gail Garrett, he's bisexual. Get it right.
I don't know. I perked up at that scene.
I hated that.
It's
scene.
Raylo inspired fanfic. That's what it is. You have the plausible deniability of saying, yes, the Sith could definitely, that's something they would do. They would actually seduce, and that makes sense. And in adult Star Wars, it would make more sense in like Andor than Acolyte.
You literally had a story in the prequels about somebody who was trying to be a Jedi and trying to suppress these feelings that they had, and were unable to do it, and end up being seduced to a marriage with Padme, and then eventually to the dark side in order to save her. Right?
My question for you, Star Wars experts, is this Blue Lagoon moment,
Which it is.
that movie, does this fit Star Wars? Honestly.
No, I don't think it does. Like, has something like this happened in Star Wars before? I'm not talking about romance. I'm talking about some guy stripping naked and flashing his dong at someone else to like seduce them to the dark side. Like, if it's in line with the Sith, has it happened?
I hope that water was warm.
Well, is it entertaining? Was anyone entertained by that scene at all? If not, why is it in there?
That's
like
what
whether
it-
it fits with the lore or not. It's
The
like,
Raylo,
it's
the
funny.
weirdo Raylo's word.
The thirsty female producers, that's who.
Yeah, I'm with Ryan. It's not that much. They didn't show his ass at all. They cut away. He walks into the water. It's not a big deal. It's cringe. That's the problem.
Yeah.
It's very fucking cringe.
Well, it's also blatantly obvious.
The
to,
one half
basic-
black guy's on your side, Brian. Congrats. Go ahead,
Black
Spad.
people love Ryan.
It's blatantly obvious to just basically own the chuds and like this is now a female property because you had Leia in a bikini before. You're gonna get
Right.
none of that now. Now we're just gonna throw this in there, and it reminds me of that meme. I think you shared it, Jeremy, where it's like Luke and Yoda. Where Luke is like, I'm not gay, and Yoda's like, you will be.
You will be.
That's what that scene is. That's what that scene is.
My problem with the scene is that it's way too Sandra Bullock, Chatham Tatum.
Chatham Tatum.
Channing Tatum.
Sorry, Channing Tatum. It's just a bit too much, isn't it? It's like I feel like it's a Sandra Bullock and Channing Tatum kind of moment. It took me out of whatever garbage they actually assembled.
Well, the problem is that if you were you even into it to begin with to be taken out of it, that would be the problem. No, I'm messing with you, but your point stands. So your point stands.
The other issue
But-
too is that if the scene actually served the plot in some capacity, it might be necessary, but it's not, and that's basically this entire show.
No, it's memeable.
Completely unnecessary.
It's just
Yeah,
memeable.
he's got a vagina.
That's what it's there for.
Yeah.
Gary, your tweet was just gold where you said they write what they know. It's
Yep.
like this guy, his
Yeah.
strategy to try and recruit someone is to sexually assault them and flash his dong at them. It's like, yeah.
Checks
yeah.
out.
Headland literally said
Checks out.
seduction.
Well, no, in the last interview, she says, I write what I know, in literally the last interview
Yeah.
about this episode.
Well, she
So-
also mentioned the whole thing with Vader being seduced by the dark side, and she's like, "Oh, I want to write that in, but it actually have it be actual seduction."
Well, look at the hug
of
that
well.
Saul gives May. It's way too long. It goes into creep territory.
But maybe
It's like Joe Biden.
Paul, it's a Disney hug where you have to keep hugging until the other person.
Is that why they needed an intimacy coordinator on set?
Oh yeah.
It got really creepy. I went, okay, this is what she knows a Harvey Weinstein grapple.
Yeah, when you think about it that way, this person who's done pretty despicable things, who is offering you a lot of power in exchange for potentially doing something like that.
Yeah.
But what I wish they would have actually delved into more, which would have been great if maybe we actually cared about Osha's character at all, is the idea that this is somebody, and they scraped the surface with like 2 sentences, but we've never learned any more than that. The idea that this is a person that does have feels like she really cares about people and isn't able to do the Jedi thing of kind of repressing that and not being able to get attached and being able to watch people go away, all these things. If we had actually delved into that more as to why this type of discussion or seduction to the dark side would work with her, then maybe it could be something that means something. But unfortunately, we don't have any of that.
You know how you can tell this was written by a woman? Because he brought a change of fucking clothing.
He didn't even put his head underwater. His hair's like greasy as shit. He didn't even bother to do that.
So, I mean, he went with that dark outfit, and now he's got this nice little chinois thing.
Leslie think that's really clever, though. She was on about that's how he's changing from dark to light, and that means he's moral grey. She literally talks about colorism and how it's really important. It's like, oh, shut up.
A real dude would just throw on the same clothes he's had on for the last 3 days.
Yes.
And also, the fact that Osha, right, she saw this guy murder 2 of her supposed friends, and she's not going to try and kill him. She's just going to stare there. It's like, well, you got a really big dong, so I'm going to hold him.
I press X to doubt on that, by the way.
Yeah,
So, Asian Ezra Miller. There you go. I said it.
He's Filipino.
I like man. And he's
That's
Canadian.
darker.
He's Filipino-Canadian.
Yep.
So chances of him having big dick, probably not great.
Well, it is very cold up here most of the time.
I thought Perry's little yellow lightsaber on the thumbnail was a nice touch.
One of the worst parts about this show is this is no longer about trying to make you question, a little bit, are the Jedi doing the right thing? This is 100% trying to tell you that depending on your point of view, the Jedi are evil, right? Anakin's misguided quote in Revenge of the Sith, right? They're trying to tell you that the Jedi are not the good guys. It all just depends on your perspective. That the Sith are not the bad guys. It just all depends on your perspective. And although I think there's interesting stories you could 100% tell from a Sith point of view that would be really fucking cool if you had people that knew what the fuck they were doing.
Yep.
This is not at all what the story should be. The Jedi are good. The Sith are bad. Now, does that mean the Jedi are infallible? Does it mean they're perfect? Does it mean they never make mistakes? Absolutely not. But they are 100% the good, the moral right in the universe.
And if you're a good writer, you can still have something presented as bad, and they have very convincing arguments. Werner Herzog in Mandalorian, one of the best scenes in Disney Star Wars, when he's explaining, the order of the Empire. It doesn't mean you agree with it. It's just a really good scene done by a good, director acting. And that's probably my favorite Disney Star Wars moment, was that little scene in The Mandalorian where he explains the Empire's perspective, which is kind of what we thought we were going to get back in the day. We were all a bunch of sweet summer children.
His accent definitely helps too.
Absolutely.
I mean, come on.
The issue with the story, though, is there doesn't seem like there is a story. All of the arcs, the moment they're presented, immediately explode. She was going after 4 Jedi. Well, that's gone. At this point in the episode, they're like, okay, so we're going to go and rescue Osha. So if he hadn't taken Osha, the story would have just ended, apparently. She was only impersonated her sister because she wanted, and this is from Leslie Headland, she was going to go back to the Jedi planet and then investigate them and find proof that they were actually evil and what they really did. Well, that blew up 10 minutes in when she just got shot with a rifle. And so I still don't know what anyone's goal is or why we're even in this story in the first place. There's no end thing we're progressing to.
No, we don't know what May wants. We don't know what Osha wants. We know we don't know their anything about these characters at all, and they're the main character, and you have one actress playing both of them, and it's pretty bad.
The same way.
And Soul, the one, the guy from Squid Game, the one guy who we all thought, was at least emoting and doing stuff. He's now a complete retard. Just a utter retard.
I never thought he was good. I thought
I thought he tried. I'm not going to say good.
A couple moments in this episode.
He's given a decent acting performance
in
terms of him being able to emote and him, especially in this last episode where he was like trying to call it in that all his teammates had died, and he you could almost see like the lip quivering there. He's trying to control himself. He goes
on his
back
face,
and like slams the fucking thing, kind of unleashes.
But you would do that in front of someone else.
If
If this was properly written, you would do it in front of someone else and have an exchange. That is like when I went to high school, the girls' washroom had a crying room. That's what it felt like.
Is that a Canadian thing?
No, they have one of those in Hollywood too. So.
Right next to the casting couch.
So here's my summary of all of Saul's scene. Okay, I will now tell you the secret. Okay, hold on a second. The phone's ringing. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. No. I've got this scene to do. I will be right back to you. No, I will bring the dumplings. Yes, hold on. Now I will tell you what the secret. Oh, just a second. Hold on. Hello. I told you not to call me here. Anyway, so there's my impression.
That's exactly right.
And as stupid as those scenes were in this episode, if they had done the bare minimum and just showed that May was sabotaging things, at least then you'd roll your fucking eyes, but you'd be like, okay, at least someone's actively preventing him from going somewhere or calling the Jedi or whatever. But no, it was just
the shit just broke. This is the High Republic, Ryan. This is the High Republic at their peak. They have the best budget. The economy's good, so they got money to change clothes before they go on emergency missions. They have all kinds of funds. And I guess they couldn't fix his ship.
And the only time that she does anything is that first time when she's like sneaking up behind him, and then she's like, "Oh, you need to drive the ship," and she's like, "Okay." I guess immediately,
what was that?
Yeah, I'm
going to kill you, and it's like, now I'll help you.
I kept yelling at the screen, kill him, kill him, kill him. And like, he lost the opportunity. Yeah. I love the fact that she let Rodent Boy dry hump her leg.
Space Beaver.
She's already killed two Jedi expertly and stabbed the little fucker. Like, it's done.
Well, I mean, he risked.
We need to correct that. Drunk 3PO named him. It is pronoun Beaver.
Pronoun Beaver. Pronoun Space Beaver. Could have exposed her, and she could have just killed him and then killed Soul. She had plenty of opportunity to do it. Now, the argument being made by some on Twitter is Soul knew the whole time. Please present that.
No,
because
I don't believe
because a
did.
Jedi Master would know the basics of don't turn your back on somebody who wants to kill you twice.
And when he shoots her, he does
and give her the wheel,
and Beaver's there on the floor, so they make it look as if the Beaver told him.
Either the speak and spell told the Beaver, or the Beaver told Soul. I'm not really sure. I don't care.
Soul couldn't speak the Beaver's language though.
But he could sense it. Like
maybe he used the speak and spell.
He senses the Beaver, but can't sense the dark.
The Beaver is retarded. It's like it's what 2 foot tall, and it thinks it's gonna go and fight Osha instead of telling the Jedi that's in the ship that there is an imposter.
Why is he hiding?
He won.
I think that.
Why is he hiding?
The weirdest part about it was right before this, you have like you have Soul who's just fucking like sitting there in his grief, and it's like a very dark, sad sequence, and then you just be like,
it's like, what the hell?
I think it was an attempt by Hedlund to insert classic George Lucas comedy.
Oh, I agree. I think producer notes too. I think I really think this Disney went, that was a little too serious. It might make people feel sad for too long. So we need to mix this up a little bit, because they do it again later when the Jedi Council, when Jedi Master Nepo finds out that everybody died, and then they're like, we must leave immediately. Right after we change clothes and make a little joke about my tummy. It's like, what?
Right.
What was that?
Beaver needed to find that wireless charger,
I think that was Leslie literally going, well, you know how you are when you travel. And she just put it in the script.
Yeah,
it's all, you think it's something her wife does actually, gets car sick or something? Yeah.
That was stupid. Again, silly humor. Can Can you guys explain to me the very last part where May boots it to the front of the ship and starts trying to communicate, and then he zaps her? And is it because she's now trying to contact somebody out there and say that she's with a masher, or I know the secret to this, you need to, like, I didn't understand that.
There is a possibility that he was the one sabotaging the ship and he didn't want to, because he shuts down the comms at the end, so he could have been doing it before, and when she was trying to use the comms, he's like, oh, well, it's the only way to
What's
stop
he
you.
preventing her from trying to do? Like I didn't get that.
We'll find out next episode. And then probably the next episode.
No one will care.
Or we'll get a flashback next episode, and then
Chato is right though, because
hello, mother, is that you again? No, I tell you later. Yes.
I would buy, like, with how we've seen Soul depicted, I would buy that he would potentially that he would go along with it just to be able to talk to May, pretending to be Osha, to desperately hope that he could get through to her somehow.
Yeah.
But not to the point of not reporting what fucking happened back there.
Yes.
yeah,
right?
that's retarded.
So like I could buy the idea in principle that he would play along, potentially get May to talk, but not to the point where he's risking not telling everybody what fucking happened.
Unless he's the bad guy. Unless he's the big bad guy, which I'm not going to put anything past this fucking show.
I think it's Leslie Headland's wife.
I think it is too, because of the
Ryan.
whip. Yeah.
Ryan is
It's the
probably
books.
right on that one. Explain it, Ryan.
Yeah, so Vernestra, this is not a character that was invented for this show. This is a character that
the High
exists.
Republic.
Even the joke they made about her in hyperspace, that is something from the High Republic books.
Oh.
That's probably why nobody got it, because
Nobody read them.
Nobody read those
Nobody's
books.
read that
But-
shit.
But this is a character that was introduced in those, who was she was like a prodigy. She became a knight at like 15 years old, like all these things, right? So it would be a little bit surprising to me if they made her into the Sith. What wouldn't be surprising is if it turns out that Chimere is her former Padawan or something.
Yeah.
And like he turned and they had a fight or something like that, right? Maybe that's how he got those injuries. I would be shocked if they turned this character that they've put over in the books as like such a super special female Jedi. I would be shocked if they'd made her the Sith. But I guess if they're going with, hey, maybe the Jedi are actually the bad guys, maybe it's not that surprising.
There's a clue.
Yeah.
They drop Chimere drops a clue where he talks about the power of two. The only person who would know is someone who was either on the planet of the lesbian witches, or involved, or he's the third brother or something. Like he was created and abandoned, and she's
because he was a
one
dude.
of the witches. Yeah, he was abandoned because he was a dude.
Because he was a dude.
Well, I
No,
think
and
possibility.
they do drop the hint, like that he could cloud the Jedi's mind, like the two mothers too. They did drop that hint.
Yeah, one of those characters still has to come back into
Yes.
play, like 1,000%. And maybe we get a reveal in the 7th episode, which will probably include a flashback of some sort that somebody did survive. But I don't know.
Do you think, Ryan, it's going to be an entire flashback episode? I think
The
that's
entire thing. Yep.
Yeah, it's possible, but
possible.
I think it might be a mix.
Yeah.
because they just have. There's only 2 episodes left.
I know.
Like,
It's
season
amazing
2 that they
nothing
totally
happened.
So yeah, they're gonna
And
jump back.
According to Leslie Headland, we're supposed to get some sort of a finality to the story.
Yeah.
At the end of this season, which again, who can believe anything this bitch says? But I think that I don't feel as strongly about her being the Sith as much as I did that Quamir or whatever his name is ultimately was the Smilo Ren. I felt like that was very obvious. I think that this is kind of obvious too, that's who they want you to think.
Smear
that
the
she is.
Quamir.
Yeah. But I feel like she is. I feel like she is, because she's been really she's been very rude and very mean to Soul. Her attitude kind of shows that kind of, and they don't know how to hide this shit in this show. We've already seen that. They don't know how to misdirect.
You mean Picklehead here?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
No, she is like 100%. She's hiding something, right? She's willing to keep all these things from the High Council.
Yes.
And also there seems to be something in the past she's hiding. She made some comment about something to balance the scales that we have no context for or reference for that clearly means something to her that we don't know what it means yet.
So did Saul boot it to not be with her? Because I didn't get that either. Why
it could be multiple things, right? So you've got episode 3, which is the kids, so you probably have that Jedi story with Saul and everything there. But the issue with him and her, if you wanted it to all line up with all the ideology so that she's still good, but she's sympathetic, but she did something bad, but it wasn't her fault. If he was like her spurned lover or something, and she had to fight him off, then he would explain his scars. It would explain why he's obsessed with romance, why he's talking about you can never love anyone than the Jedi, because if she used that as an excuse. And you would actually have him where he's evil and she, like, it's sort of no fault of my own that I had to do it, but she's kind of embarrassed and wants to stay silent about it. And it would be, the whole spurned lover element would be very modern day Hollywood.
But is Saul not trusting Picklehead? Is that why he zoomed away?
Well, it would be
maybe
something that she's ashamed of.
Yeah, because the only takeaway you could get from that otherwise is like he wanted time to talk to her before the Jedi got there, even though they got there right when he left. So there has to be something to that. Ryan, I have a question for you. Is it making your head hurt?
What makes my head hurt more than anything in this show, ironically, is that it doesn't take you any time to go from Coruscant to the Outer Rim.
I know, dude.
Teleportation, man.
No, I have a question.
One guy went off as the other one arrived in 3 seconds.
I have a lore question. So Jedi Master Nepo is talking to some senator or something on the hologram, and they were discussing a senator or somebody who's not friendly to the Jedi. Does that? Right. Is that supposed to mean, like, I'm like, why is this even here? They haven't hinted towards it.
That is a person. I don't remember exactly their role, but that is like a named character in some sort of fucking Disney, either High Republic books or something. Like that character does exist. But I think they're just trying to show quickly why there might be a reason that the Jedi wouldn't want to reveal things, because there's anti-Jedi sentiment in the Senate who might want to restrict their powers and shit. I think that's really the only purpose of it. But the fucking, they keep giving time limits, right? Same thing happened in episode 4, where these guys leave the planet that the Master Torben killed himself. They go directly to Kelnaka's planet. The other ones are like, we got to go stop at Coruscant. They stop at Coruscant. They do training. They have apparently a quasi-queer relationship almost develops between Osha and Jeki. They talk about shit. Then they go to there. And by the time they get there, they land. They say we have 3 hours until dark. They fucking meet each other somehow, some way. Now in this episode, they get a call from Sol. Enough time for Mog, fucking big-eared, weird-looking Mog,
Frank
to come
Spencer.
down to Vernestra.
You see, it's actually Frank Spencer from Some Mothers Do Have Them.
Well, there you go. Frank Spencer, yes. So Mog goes in and says, we got to report. Okay, hey, let's get ready. Assemble a strike team. Let's get in our fucking actually get out there and go robes and not our normal fuck around the Jedi Temple robes. It will leave in 20 minutes. So maybe it took them like 40 minutes to set all that up, 20 minutes before they're going to leave. And maybe you could convince me that it took an hour to fix the comms and then to cycle the fucking power on the ship. Maybe. Best case scenario, a fucking hour. And they go from Coruscant to the fucking Outer Rim. That's a trip that should take days, if not a week.
Yeah,
that ain't insane. Why would anybody use comlinks? Why would anybody use your HoloNet access if you're literally just takes you 20 minutes, 5 minutes maybe to get from Coruscant to there? It felt fucking retarded.
It felt instantaneous, and I want to how incompetent do these writers have to be to not comprehend that this galaxy should have distance and take time from point A to point B?
This is where the verisimilitude kicks in, where there's just so many moments where you're going like fire in space, the jumps in over space. These are stupid mistakes that are writing conveniences, plot conveniences, where it takes you write that in that it's going to take them a few days to go from, to the Outer Rim. Something is broken that has to be fixed. Make it part of the plot. Like, they just leave all that stuff out because they don't like it. It's dirty. But this is the history of Disney. They went from Iron Man that with a physical helmet all the way to nanotech, where nothing gets broken anymore. It's Iron Man is all about his shit breaking.
Yes.
And him having to scurry away to some place and recharge shit and refix things and then come into the fight and then get the thing broken again where he has to go away and fix it again. They don't understand the beautiful parts of what that was created before, how it works. I talk about it as gear porn. They do not get gear porn.
Yeah, I was about to bring that up, Paul, because I think that's part of the reason why they treat everything as being instantaneous. Because they don't care. Where guys care,
they don't understand it.
In these things, they don't understand it, and they won't put it in their script.
No. And what's frustrating is that those elements add great opportunity for conflict. That's storytelling. It's like a problem happens, you figure out a way to engineer and solve it. And they're like, oh, well, then he'll leave or it'll take too long to get there and they won't, coincide to where we want in the plot. That's what a talented writer does. A talented writer figures out how to drive the plot where they want, as well as making it logically consistent and realistic with the things that are transpiring.
And even stuff that they've set up makes no sense. So in Iron Man 1, they actually showed real soldering. The British or American, I don't know. So the thing is, that's gear porn. Just soldering. They showed soldering. Then they have Chimere soldering a helmet with a lightsaber that's not supposed to affect Coruscata or whatever that stupid
cortosis.
What is it?
Right?
Cortosis.
Yeah.
Cortosis. It looks like a mouth disease.
It does. It looks like a foot disease. Sounds like a foot disease. So the thing is, I'm not believing this. You told me that lightsabers bounce off of this. Like, what is he using here? Is it some kind of I don't know, torch? I don't get it. Like, they don't make you believe the universe that they have themselves created.
Well, it's because you're looking at the same thing from two different perspectives. So men care about things, women care more about people. So for everyone else, it's like, well, the conflict would be enemies clashing or a difference in views that results in a fight or something. But to them, their conversation is the conflict in this scene. What he's doing kind of doesn't really matter. It's their conversation, which is the main point of it. And basically him trying to get into bed with the kind of thing. So this is why it's so important that you have the people who are your target demographic writing the show, because they know what they care about. And this is just a show for a target demographic, which isn't the Star Wars one. And they really should have used a different IP. And then, if you set this in Bridgerton or something, it would make far more sense.
Yeah, this is just ultimately how writing is now. It's just people sitting, and Gary says it all the time, people sitting in a fucking room talking. That's it. You're sitting at a table, or you're sitting in this scenario, or you're walking in a hallway. That's all they can do is put two characters in rooms to talk. They don't have them dynamically walk through scenes or have things happening outside of that context. It's just that.
Because the social interaction is the main point of it. So everything else is.
But this is solvable. So when my son does welding and there's Mig and Tig, and all he need, I can't really do this helmet normally, but I need this tank of argon or whatever the equivalent would be in Star Wars territory, some additional thing
interactive
that makes it believable that he can then get through this metal's imperviousness to lightsabers to be able to fix it and weld it. Like, it's easily explained. It doesn't take much.
Empire Strikes Back, when Han and Chewie are working on the Falcon, they're getting ready to leave Hoth. You're having the conflict between Luke and Han, and Chewie, and they're trying to fix the ship, and then Empire shows up, and they got to really fix the ship, right? It's like all these things you're piling on the conflict, multi-layered. This is just we're sitting in a room quietly.
Ultimately, this show is for its target audience. This is the audience that Disney wants, and it's not working. It's definitely not working. Because what we talked about, what you were just talking about, Quarter Black, the Falcon is malfunctioning like throughout Empire. It can't get to hyperspace, right? That becomes a big part of the problem. Yes. So maybe there'll be an answer to this later. But as Ryan said earlier, we're 6 episodes in, and all we have is more questions. And the couple of questions that you answered were so on the nose, we couldn't believe it. And all there's left is mystery that we don't give a shit about. Now they introduce the scar, and they're inconsistent with the damn helmet, right? So, Ryan, what is your interpretation of this helmet?
Well, I don't know. Like, it looks like it's been really fucking banged up. So
Yes.
I don't know if this
Not
thing
Leslie
is-
Headland. We're talking about the helmet.
I don't know if this is supposed to be something that might be like an ancient Sith artifact that's been around for a long time. I don't know if that's the vibe we're supposed to get from it. I'm also not 100% sure that whatever he's doing is actually fixing the cortosis. You can clearly see like a lot of these things are not cortosis that it's being held together with. And in some ways, I kind of wish they had dug a little more into that, because one of the drawbacks of cortosis is it's pretty fucking brittle, right? It's not going to hold up to a ton of punishment. And you actually saw, a lot of people miss it, but you saw his gauntlet break that he was using to deflect lightsabers.
Oh, I
in
didn't
the
see his
last
gauntlet
episode.
break.
And the helmet broke as well.
Right.
So you can see obviously that he has to go back and fix it a lot. But I don't know if they're supposed to mean that it's ancient or anything like that, or that he designed it himself. I don't fucking know. And then they do give you that look of a vein of cortosis kind of sitting behind the helmet, which that's what makes me think the planet is probably Baldemnik, because Darth Plagueis and Darth Tenebris actually discovered that there was that they had found cortosis on this planet called Baldemnik, and which would have caused like a huge rush for people to get there because it is so valuable. They decided to cover that up, murder some people, quietly acquire rights to a bunch of land on Baldemnik so that they could control it, control the mining and distribution. So I don't know if they're trying to bring that in for a reason, but this is way before Darth Plagueis should have existed. But as we found out with timelines with Kiadi Mundi, that doesn't necessarily mean anything.
Planet
I have a related question. I thought cortosis was what happened when you stop eating carbs.
and the name of that planet you mentioned sounds like a salad dressing.
Yeah.
I thought, Chrissy, you were going to talk about a vein of cortosis to be the second vein that we saw this episode.
No, I'm a mother now. I don't talk about
Oh, whatever.
Come on.
Can we see that back again? Let's pull that up.
At least he gives good helmet.
Since you did that, Paul.
Right, you mentioned that it would have been interesting if they explained that. And one of the things that I'm really finding with Disney Star Wars generally, they have complete contempt for the very concept of world building. Nothing is consistent here. And what's so frustrating is that was literally one of the appeals of Star Wars. It was a galaxy far, far away. The world was a character that we like to get immersed in. Now, they just piss on it. They don't freaking care. And like, there could have been a cool opportunity, just a simple line explaining why he has to fix it a certain way or something like that to make draw you in, and it makes the world feel more real and immersive. Now, they're just bastardizing everything, and they don't care. And they're destroying one of the most enjoyable parts of that universe, which is literally the universe it was based in. It's just goes to show you again. It's
and there is like a balance, because if you do feel like you're just fucking explaining everything like a definition from a fucking dictionary, that's going to get tiresome. You have to find a way to do it right. And I think you could, when you're going to introduce something like cortosis, which for 99% of the people that saw this, they were like, this, what the fuck is this? This is like so out of left field, so out of nowhere. I feel like you owe it to the audience to do some of that explaining. Otherwise it's not going to feel earned or like it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, at least tell us the orthodontist that made the helmet.
Yeah.
A great example of integrating world building that it's not like a reading from an encyclopedia is when Han is trying to get the Navicomputer working and it takes time and they're needing to go and Luke's like, we need to go, and it's like, yeah, we'll bounce off of the supernova or jump into this, we got to get there, and perfectly integrated. But it's a world building bit of dialogue that helps contextualize things. It adds conflict because it explains why there's a delay when they have to get going fast, and it's a perfect example of how you integrate world building into the story in a dynamic way that can also enhance the conflict and make it real. But they don't have
exposition. Cameron is an expert on inserting ridiculous exposition into a movie, but masking it with action. So when Terminator is coming after, the two main characters, 70-year-old brain. Yeah, Connor and what's her name? At the very beginning, he has got to tell her the most incomprehensible story. She is in a car with the guy she thinks is going to kill him, but she's scared to death more of the other guy that looks like they're going to kill him. And he tells her a ridiculous story. She's trapped in the car. She cannot get out of it. She can't just like open the door and leap out. She's trapped. And he's telling her, I'm from the future. This is the thing. That's what this guy is doing. And this is what's going to happen. And he's telling it at high speed. And you are totally jazzed about that because of the way it was done. This is not like I'm calling Saul's vessel the lunchroom, the flying lunchroom.
It does look like a break room. It does.
What you're hitting on is the lack of tension, and it's like that's a part of storytelling.
Show that
Building
meme,
up
Garrett.
Tension and release.
I'm just waiting for people to stop talking.
Oh,
right.
Damn.
Why?
I don't want to cut anybody off.
Why are you going to start now?
I need someone to remake this scene with the AI.
Wait for Star Wars theory.
Brings a whole new meaning to the expression. Do it.
You can't learn from the Jedi. Take your pants off.
And that face looks perfect for this meme.
With the body of Joe
like
Biden.
my body.
Body by Biden.
Anakin, did you attend the Pride Parade in Coruscant? It was quite beautiful.
You like Roman gladiator movies, Anakin?
Have you heard of the Corellian bathhouses?
They are house to many things.
I've got a custom case for my lightsaber.
I do believe, like, I don't think I've seen as many people saying it as I have for Acolyte. Is like, I truly just look forward to the YouTube videos roasting this. Like, I've never seen that said so much as I have with the Acolyte. Like, people are actually anticipating all of their favorite, creators just roasting the shit out of this. They do not care about the show. They only care about people roasting it. And obviously that's always been a thing with Disney Star Wars for the last several years and a lot of the MCU stuff in recent years. But this show in particular, it's went to the next level.
But I think it's what Gary said. It's because it's unbelievably memeable, like compared to Rings of Power, which was like a dirge. I felt like I was at a funeral every single time I watched the show. This thing here has got always that one thing you can have fun with.
Yeah.
Yes. The Rings of Power it's similar in the way that it's destructive to lore, but but Tolkien's lore is taken a little more seriously because it's Tolkien's lore and not a bunch of authors who did a good job in the EU. It was one man's lore that was protected for so long, and then some company came in and just shit all over it. This is a consistent flush of a toilet for fucking 10 years, and honestly, maybe it's clogged at this point. We've talked about it before. I don't know why this is the bridge too fucking far. It's just a shart, and it's a constant shart. But honestly, the lore getting fucked up in this show I don't think it's as bad as Obi-Wan. Like, nearly as bad as Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan is fucking unbelievable, and Ahsoka is pretty bad too.
The thing about Obi-Wan Kenobi is that you still there's still people that have a very, very strong connection to Hayden Christensen. So the fact of just seeing him on screen, even though it's dog shit, even though it's terrible, it's just seeing him on screen is going to create a different emotion. There is nothing about this show. There's no person, there's no character, there's nothing. So even if Obi-Wan Kenobi is terrible, and it is, there's still Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen that's in it. That's an identifiable thing that brings you. It's like, well, it's still like there's a resemblance of anything Star Wars that I know. There's nothing in this. Nothing. Obi-Wan is far worse, but there are redeemable qualities that are not about the show that are in Obi-Wan Kenobi from the actors.
It's the Marvels because it's the end game. It's
That's great.
That's why Leslie Headland likes her.
Makes a lot of sense now.
No,
It's the cucumber.
Jeremy, it's the Marvels because it's this is what Disney Star Wars wanted. It's personified this is what they wanted out of Star Wars. This was their end goal, and they finally got to do what they really wanted to do. And wow, is it bad?
I think this is. I think this is the worst thing they've ever done.
Creatively, it's like
including Book of Boba Fett. Now, I still think that Obi-Wan Kenobi of the shows is the one that does the most damage.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Like the biggest. What the fuck did they do? But this one, in just terms of a competent show,
this
is the worst thing they've done.
You're probably you're.
And we have 2 episodes to go, and that's not changing. This is the worst Star Wars ever made.
Where do you slot this versus Ahsoka?
This is worse than Ahsoka.
Oh, this is worse.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to say that somebody's worse than Dave fucking Filoni at telling stories, but this.
You're saying this is worse because a lot of Ahsoka is just women staring at each other with their arms crossed. So there's no actual dialogue.
He signed off on it, Ryan. So you still got your justification. He signed off on everything. Okay, Dave signed off on everything.
I mean, I'm really happy about that.
But Gary, when you were saying.
Is she white?
She looks white. She was white.
Yeah. White her up for that one. Is that for China? Was that the poster for China?
It's just a Danish coming out.
Now, okay, so my question is, why didn't they dress her up in this show the way she dresses up in that video, her diss video?
Why doesn't she act in this show like she did in that video? And she
didn't want her to look.
I'm just saying one step at a time.
So what are you going to say, Shad?
I was saying before that, you know how you're saying this is what they were building to, and think about what their taglines are. The Force is female, the gayest Star Wars ever. That's what they have been pushing towards the whole time, and that's the Acolyte in a nutshell. And it's amazing that this astounding piece of crap is their magnus opus. This is their goal.
It's a big shock that this show comes directly from the same people who put up that famous whiteboard that had diversity on there twice, dinosaurs, you know, the High Republic that sold 5s and 10s of comic books, maybe to relatives.
The arrogance of all these people who have taken over other people's properties and don't believe in them. So, for instance, the woman who took over The Witcher and then admitted that she doesn't like the author or any of the stories. And when Blood Origin came out, they advertised it, or the interviews were, finally, this is the Witcher that
this is the vision. Yes. Yeah.
Blood Origin. This is
Disparu's second favorite show.
And it was
I don't know that was Willow and She-Hulk. It's got to
be okay. Third favorite show.
It was so bad that they actually cut it down from 8 episodes down to 6.
Yes. Yeah. And they probably wanted to cancel it altogether.
Right.
Like
Echo.
What
is the arrogance of these people constantly telling us that they don't like the source material?
This is what happens when you would know better than anybody. When you promote somebody beyond their talent, they didn't earn it, and all of a sudden, because they got promoted there, I must have earned it. I must deserve it. I must be the man or the woman, and I'm going to start acting like it and telling Henry Cavill what to do, who's actually played the game and read the books. And you know, Lauren Schmidt did read the books and didn't like them. And now the author, and
don't put her in charge if she doesn't like the fucking source material. That's the most retarded thing I've ever heard.
Like Netflix should have sided with Henry and not her, and just brought in a whole new staff, and their show would have been saved.
I don't know what you guys are
talking about. It was her property.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. I'm sharing my screen right now.
Oh, really?
I don't know
so her production team licensed it? Oh, well, yeah, because...
Star Wars fan are you? I am the type of Star Wars fan that doesn't even have a favorite movie. I just want to live in the universe of Star Wars continually, in perpetuity, forever. So when people are like, what's your favorite Star Wars movie? I'm like, there is no Star Wars movie. There is only Star Wars.
This is somebody... This is
writing a Star Wars movie. Oh, please, Queen Kathleen Kennedy.
And I want you to get out of this office right now. I don't want you here.
I love that clip.
But that's the art of bullshit that gets a lot of people jobs in Hollywood. That's
I
it.
did quickly realize, though, because the original plan, Lauren History said this in an interview, was for her to do like her series 1 year, then have the Witcher show, then have a different one series with hers. So there was always content coming out. And you found the same thing with Amazon. They do Rings of Power, then Wheel of Time, then Rings of Power, then Wheel of Time. Both of them have died. And going back to what was memeable about it, the funniest bits of Rings of Power is when they tried to be Tolkien. And so they come out with things like, why does a boat float and a stone
Oh my
sinks?
God.
It was when they tried to be serious, it just made it farcical. But what I love about things like The Acolyte and Willow is they're trying to be funny, but because they miss, like they're simultaneously being funny, well, attempting to be funny and serious at the same time, and it just comes across as cringe. And that makes the best television. They've essentially made The Office in Star Wars with all of their stuff.
You know, Disparu, when you say their attempt at trying to be serious, another way to put it is when they try and be intelligent, but because they're not smart, all they can come up with is absolute crap. And to what we were talking about before, when Gary was talking about, you know, they're getting promoted above their position, they get drunk on their own hubris. They're told so often they're great, they have all the participation awards, and so in their mind, whatever they make must be good because they think they're so talented. And when people hate it, well, surely it can't be because they made something bad. That's impossible. They're so talented, they can't make anything that's bad. So the only answer that they can come up with that why people are not liking it, they must be bigots and misogynists. They just don't like it because of my quality.
And yes, it's all of our fault. And this last episode averages out, by the way, to $22 million. $22 million for a filler episode. We've talked about more stuff that actually happened in the show. We've tried to imprint like this could be this and this could be this. And honestly, you know, all the people who like this, I don't see them doing live streams like this, breaking down like the actual plot, breaking down I don't like this show. It is not good. And we're still trying to figure it out.
I love that was my issue with Doctor Who. I got to the end and I hated the entire series, but I still wanted to know what on earth the answer was to all the plot threads. And he just went, nah, it's nothing. It was your own
Make it make sense.
Just like, what are you trying to say? I want to genuinely know when you sit down to write the show, what are you trying to convey to me? It doesn't make sense.
Nothing matters. That's basically it.
We're gonna say, Ryan.
Laugh at,
Ryan?
What's Ryan going to say something? What I laugh at, right, is when we do sit down and try and figure out like what is going on. Oftentimes we're applying far more logic than the writers ever put to this thing, and we come up with much better stuff. And I'm at the point where to try and figure out what these writers most likely have picked is stop trying to think of it logically and try and think about what's the more incompetent thing that could happen in the story, and that's usually what ends up happening.
Well, the main thing in writing is that you want to see people reacting to consequences. They have hidden the consequences in these boxes and these mystery boxes, and that's the issue. So I have read more than 1,100 scripts, and I have gotten mystery boxes a lot from writers, and I'd say open up the box right at the very beginning and let's see how our characters react to the problem. I'm not interested in waiting to find, like, your mystery box is not that fascinating.
No.
Let's see how they react to it. And this is simple stuff. This is I don't get it. These people are amateurs.
Well,
they haven't actually tried to study the quality of writing, what makes good writing, and they're just farting out whatever comes to their brain.
The Jedi finding out that a bunch of Jedi got murdered should have been a pivotal moment. It should have been, it should have had a bunch of gravitas, a bunch of emotion, and it was just like, oh, we better go, huh? Oh, let's make a joke. It's like, what the fuck? You just found out like a dozen Jedi got murdered. That would be like high alert. Fucking, tell everybody. Somebody get Yoda on the phone. You know,
the fact that weird looking Jedi went to the green bold lady, and when he got the alert and he got enough information to find out that nearly everyone died except Sol, and he doesn't take it to the High Council and put everything on alert. Instead, he doesn't tell anyone and just sneaks it.
It's supposed to be such a peaceful time that people have forgot. It's been so long since the Sith have been known by the Jedi, like they've gotten a little bit lax. But still, it's like that would make it even worse if a bunch of Jedi just died. It's like, oh, there's something out there that can like kill us easily. That's bad. That's really bad. And they were like, oh, that's really okay. We should probably go do something about that.
The moths, the giant moths.
Did you notice that the line about burying all of the corpses of their friends was like phoned in, like late and ADR'd as she walked off? And it just sounded like she just went, you're my wife, you just do the line. They keep talking about how no one cares about the body. It's like just added it in afterwards. It was
hey, they didn't decompose, so they got there really fucking fast.
I don't understand why where Saul went during the big battle. Like, why wasn't he fighking with everybody?
That's part of the mystery.
Well, he's got prostate issues. He had to go take a piss, man. I mean, come on.
I mean, half of the Jedi, when they're not on scene, they're just disappearing, and then they will go at one at a time. Like that fight scene was dog.
Yeah, it was
crap.
awful.
Remember, Soul had like a solid 15 seconds where he just stood there with his mouth agape when Yord came in. Like Yord comes in, grabs the helmet, does some shit. Yord does some shit, and then before he gets his neck snapped. And that entire time, Soul doesn't do shit.
No,
he could have helped. He could have done something, but he just stands there. And it
It's
was
the same with his
interesting
Padawan.
they go, could Soul have done this? And they're like, might be the assumption that Soul had done, but then why would he fucking call it in the first place? All these things. To me, the dumbest thing still is how quickly Osha is willing to give into this without even a meaningful conversation. Hey, you killed all these people. The Jedi? Well, they were just going to kill me. That's why I killed them. You killed Yord. Yeah, but I mean, he fucking arrested you for a crime you didn't commit and then immediately released you. Well, what about Jackie? You killed Jackie. You really think that bitch was going to let you fuck her? Where do you think that was headed? Like, that's it. That's all like the challenging she does to his rhetoric, which is wild to me.
Yeah, it's pathetic. Like, she's seen this guy murder her friends, essentially, and all he has to say is something as pathetic as that, and then she's like, you've got a point. Yeah, I need to think about that. I was losing it when that was happening. It's like, the writing is retarded.
I like a strong man.
But who's... as predicted, the flashback episode, whether it's going to be an entire episode or not, by many people, including some on this panel, will be next episode, where we'll get all the answers, and then the rest of them, and probably in the last 5 minutes of the 27-minute 8th episode. But apparently, it's our fault. Yeah, it's all our fault.
Indeed.
But this sucks.
Yeah.
It's our fault.
I didn't realize that we were all involved with the creation of the show.
Yeah.
Well, we are. I mean, I'm not getting residuals, and they just. Are you getting chat? Are you getting residuals?
Well, technically, we are if we're monetized.
Hey, that's not from Disney though.
No,
but it's our fault.
It's our fault.
It's our fault. I mean, I'm not a member of any union, nor will I be, and I don't work for Disney, nor will I ever. Although I've done stuff for them a long time ago. Was it?
You got those connections, Gary.
Oh yeah, 2011.
Obviously.
Who was the CEO in 2011? It wasn't Iger, was it? No, it was Eisner. Still, Star Wars' biggest problem is the fans, guys. It's the fans again. This is that I know of the third article. I know there's more, but the third one I've seen in 3 weeks from separate. Now this is Collider, which is Canadian owned corporate media.
My fault.
Yep, it's your fault. Blame Canada.
Yep,
blame Canada. They also own CBR. CBR, the Citadel of Journalism. And the internet has never made it easy for people to speak their minds. Convenience of digital connection aside, there have been always been online trolls and toxic comments ready to pounce on anyone who dares to bear their authentic self in public life behind
Who cares being adult? Jesus Christ.
Okay, we're talking. Listen, I don't care if you're anonymous. It's fine if you're anonymous, but let's just say a lot of these accounts are Acolyte fan 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah,
that's
with a picture of OSHA.
Yeah,
used to be a picture of another character. Yeah.
This writer is the same one that did the article that Yord's topless scene. What's actually not fan like. It wasn't just to get him topless. It actually told us a lot about the in-depth nature of the character. Just getting his kit off.
Okay.
So we know why they're watching the Acolyte.
Okay.
And the newest round of controversies and unfounded criticisms directed at Star Wars projects, stop dead naming Star Wars, it's Disney Star Wars, demonstrates that beloved sci-fi franchise is no different. For decades, viewers have been relentlessly attacking Star Wars performers and creators. Are they going to bring up? I have not read this article. I wanted to wait until. I wanted to wait till FNT.
No. Are you serious?
Why do you link to this?
Yeah, why do they link to that?
Fuck, it's not even an article
But
about it.
are they going to bring up Kelly Marie Tran?
Yeah,
are they?
yes,
Oh,
they
good.
do.
Oh, good.
They even bring up Ahmed Best.
Ahmed
as well.
Best.
What?
Yeah.
Or Jake
They bring
Lloyd.
up all the classics, Gary.
Oh, yeah, 'cause
All
it's
It's
the
all
classics.
you, Collider. You're the media. You're the reason that they get this shit because of you.
I laughed when they said like unfounded criticisms. They think the Acolyte is above reproach. Any criticism is clearly
Fuck
unfounded in
off.
one of the biggest piles of crap Disney Star Wars has ever made. How could you be so blind and incompetent as a reviewer to think that Acolyte is beyond reproach? Are they retarded?
Obviously, a masterpiece.
Holy crap.
Gary, you know how you made that meme with the twins? You know that Disney.
It was just my idea. Perry brought it to life. The Jedi Trap. Yes.
Yeah, that was great. I think you need another one where we have Acolyte Teen Mag, and which one's hotter, Keimer or and they show the other guy who died.
Yord. Why do I
And
know
have
his
them,
name?
Like
God, I
just
hate
the
you.
topless,
Shillmonger.
the topless scene. And just,
Shillmonger.
who is hotter?
Who is hotter? Well, I mean, that's being discussed on Twitter by 5s and 10s of people right now.
I'm sure.
Target audience.
But according to Grace Randolph, this episode has fought back against the discourse for Acolyte,
Really?
and it's quieting down because of
Really?
it's Grace Randolph. It's not supposed to make sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Clearly. Attacking Star Wars performers and creators with the renewed push against TV shows like The Acolyte, demonstrating the venom with which a particular set of audience members scrutinize everyone's favorite galaxy. The vitriol of these persistent voices has subsequently spread throughout the internet, making it feel impossible to say anything positive about Star Wars without turning every discussion into a heated debate.
Well,
Says
the
someone
issue
who
is there's
knows
nothing
nothing about
positive to
fandom.
say about Star Wars at this point.
All right, so
Maybe
there's
it's spread throughout the galaxy of the internet because most people are starting to go, oh, wait, they were right the whole time. It's
It's
garbage.
Yeah.
Well, it has to be a majority because whenever they say anything, apparently loads of people underneath them start disagreeing with them. It can't be, oh, it's just a small group of people. Like, if I don't like something, it doesn't affect you in any way. I upload a video if you watch it, you know, that's your choice.
Yeah.
Like, it's if you make a comment and then underneath you have 100 comments going, it's crap, well, what do you expect? That just means you're massively outnumbered, and it just feels like they're really upset that they don't have a little hug box, and it's making them feel like they've made the wrong decision, rather than just being like, I like it, I don't really care if you do.
hey,
That's exactly it. I mean, there is not a single opinion you can have on the internet that you're not going to have someone challenge you or tell you you're a fucking retard for having. But some opinions are more popular than others, and that's just the reality of it. As Disparu just said, if you open up the comments and you got 100 fucking comments telling you got a pile of shit, and then you got one that's telling you how brave it's probably because a lot of people just don't like it. It's really that simple. There's
Also, that's how
nothing
fandom
more
is.
to it.
That's how fandom is. Like fandom of any
Yes.
property, of any IP has always had. It's like
Always
this person has clearly never been a fan. of
been
anything.
this way. I've had opinions in my comic shop where I had my employees and everybody just ganging up on me. It was funny. Hey,
That's what's fun
once in
about
a
it.
while, you know, Jeremy will make a video or I'll make a video on an alternate channel. And that's not the most popular opinion in the world. And it gets ratioed and you take your L. That's all you do. Go, yep. Still stand by my argument, but it's obviously not popular. Okay, cool.
Well, I think it really
Ryan's still bitter about being ratioed one time. He's never gotten over it though.
Well,
He's
listen,
still pissed off about
I
it.
did a video explaining why Arcane sucks.
Ooh.
Holy Jesus. Holy fucking Jesus. I might as well have said that that I'm more popular than Christ. I mean,
It's like, whose puppy did you kick?
wow.
Oh, no.
That was extraordinary.
Yeah, Chato's right. Everyone, I think, every one of us has had an experience like that where you say something and you can trigger an entire fan base because, you know, we're being actually honest with our views about this. We're not shills for everything.
I know what you got ratioed for, Shad, but Ryan, remind us what you got ratioed for.
I liked the Batman movie.
and I got ratioed because I didn't like the Batman trailer. I didn't like the costume in particular.
I think I think for them, though, it's a bit more serious in the fact that the reason why they have a lot of their opinions is because it's popular in the first place. They have the idea of being on the right side of history, that there is a correct decision. We've seen Blue Beetle say it, we've seen David Tennant come out recently, and for their belief to make sense, it has to be I'm popular, and everyone else on the wrong side of history is just a tiny minority, but I'm with all the people that matter. Yeah. And the moment they make a comment like this and get absolutely destroyed, it breaks their entire worldview. It's important to them.
On the other hand, this is just silly pop culture we're having fun with.
Like, yes, they don't see it that way.
They don't.
Yeah.
No, this is wait.
Literally
it's not important when we bring up stuff like pronouns. It's like, what's the big deal? It's not important. It's not important. We told you it's not important. It doesn't matter, and we're going to complain about it for days and days. How much it doesn't matter. Well, if
it's attacking my identity.
Yeah.
Exactly. Fucking current day California shit because we're all fucking know because we're boring.
I'm mad that I didn't get the part. I'm mad that Disparu beat me to as baby faces part here.
It's just Space Wizards, guys. Except when it's an important platform that, oh God forbid, there's some diversity in Star Wars. There's been, oh God.
The whole time.
This article is 100% about, like I think Jeremy and Disparu said, it's about a hug box, right? It's about never being able to criticize anything. You can tell from one of the first sentences that this person writes, this dude's either trans or gay or something, because he's like, it allows them to be their authentic selves or some shit.
I agree.
Later on, he definitely likes you.
Yeah, no man says that. Okay.
Yeah, trolls and toxic comments ready to pounce on anyone who dares to bear their authentic self in public life. Quit being a fucking pussy ass bitch. Like, shut the fuck up. If you being able to give your opinion means, guess what? Other people can give their opinions too. Yep. You might not like that that's how it works, but that's how it fucking works. And maybe everyone doesn't agree with you. You can argue about it, or you can just shut up and move on. Like, you don't have to get into arguments. You can just put your opinion out there, and if it triggers a bunch of people, that's okay. You just put out your next opinion.
Yep.
That's what happens.
Just write an article.
Getting a degree in gender studies and have their safe spaces.
The internet is not a nice place, and it's never going to be. So deal with it. When you say shit, the internet's going to. Well, the internet basically resembles the world, you know. So
exactly.
Like Elon Musk said it the other day that Twitter is basically a giant group chat for the world. And if you've ever been in a group chat with your friends, like you get roasted every now and then, and all you can do is just sit there and deal with it. And that happens on a bigger scale on Twitter. Sometimes you just get roasted.
Well, we
Welcome
know
to the real world.
We know what the mainstream wants. They think Hannah Gatsby is funny. Where Chrissy, I'm not. I mean, they think they keep
I know,
but
the main concept
is funny. Chrissy makes me laugh because she talks like a truck driver. I mean, this is what I love about her.
Or a truck driver.
Oh, that's a different.
Really, this woman's funny because she talks like a man.
She's got the mouth of a sailor.
Chato, the reason why I laughed is the very concept that Hannah Gatsby could be funny is in and of itself hilarious.
I know.
Funnier than Hannah.
I thought she was like an Australian treasure.
Oh, piss off.
That's your fault, Shed.
Oh, no, don't hate that on us. I disown her.
Wait. I mean, aside from authentic self and using toxic comments in a sentence, I think it's pretty obvious. The unacceptable abuse that Star Wars prequel era actors like Ahmed Best received from fans in the late 90s.
Notice they don't bring Hayden Christensen up. Notice they don't bring Hayden Christensen up or Jake Lloyd.
Yep.
You know, because why? Because those are white males, so there's no point to bring up
who,
that they faced
who
any
directed
criticism.
And who? Well, okay, I know you know the answer to this, guys. This is just for everybody. It's a rhetorical question. Who directed all of that vitriol towards Ahmed Best, George Lucas, Hayden Christensen, the media, the fucking media?
That Ahmed Best said.
He said.
The fucking media.
The media was calling George Lucas racist.
Yes.
And the media set these people up. If you go back and look at all of this, the Snow White stuff, the interviews with Rachel Zegler, all those things were set up deliberately because they knew they would get her to say something and they could use it in a clip and it would make her go viral because everyone would hate it.
Go back to the Henry Cavill. Henry
Cavill.
A hostile interview.
Henry Cavill.
Well, I mean, again,
it's black people. So when Ahmed Best says that the media almost made him kill himself, I believe him.
That's right. That's right. But again, as we as fans know this, it's something I've repeated many times, but fandom is a very passionate thing. The most hate I have ever seen for a casting for any nerd thing ever was Ben Affleck as Batman when the announcement was made. Obviously, I think he completely turned the tide on that, and everybody loves Ben Affleck's Batman now. But the casting, and it wasn't because Ben Affleck's a white male. It's because Ben Affleck was so fucking famous. He's one of the most famous people that have ever been cast in a major role like that.
Well, and he was also
like
shit in Daredevil. That didn't help.
Yeah, it would be like casting Tom Cruise in a prominent,
I like the director's cut.
Yeah, it would be like casting Tom Cruise in a prominent superhero role. It would create a lot of discussion.
Dude, no, Jeremy, a news crew came to my comic shop when they cast him, right? They came out, they wanted to know our reaction. I was, and my staff, we were fine with it because as much of, he wasn't known as much of an idiot back then. He was still a bit of an idiot, but he also is a comic book reader, lifelong comic book reader. Yeah. So he actually knew about Batman. So I was
a huge fan. I'm a huge fan of him. I was excited with the announcement. I ended up hating it after it came out. But that's a different story.
Same thing happened with Heath Ledger as Joker too.
Yes.
Heath Ledger, Michael Keaton. You can keep going back.
But Brokeback Mountain's the reason he got the hate, and he deserved the hate at the time for being a fucking.
But if you saw him in Brothers Grimm, you could see how he could play the role. You're like, okay, yeah, he could play the Joker.
He has range.
Yeah,
he has range.
No, absolutely. No, I mean, Heath Ledger's a great actor. He's a great actor, and he did an amazing job. But there was a ton, just like Hugh Jackman got a lot of hate for Wolverine
being too tall.
Because he was way too tall. No one knew who he was. People were questioning it. He didn't look like Wolverine from the comics. There was a lot of controversy around that because this is what happens.
Poor Dougray Scott.
Superhero roles and unknown actors, or the internet's going to react however the fuck they're going to react. That's how it happens.
Mission Impossible 2 cost Dougray Scott the Wolverine role. Then he got cast in Batwoman. That poor guy. Oh my God.
The point is, though, these people always forget about the white males that get the same shit that people get that are diverse. They just don't want to include that because, oh man, that would break their narrative. That it's everyone, man.
I seem to recall Chris Chibnall getting a lot of shit, Alex Kurtzman getting a lot of shit, Rian Johnson, Jar Jar Abrams. That's just from me. So
you know what they did? Reminded it, but like Michael Keaton got a shit ton of hate for Batman casting.
I said that.
Did you say it?
Yeah, for sure. That happens, man. But what they did is Michael Keaton came out, made a great Batman movie, and proved everyone wrong.
Well, and that's the
do that with Star Wars.
Katie Sackhoff as Starbuck. That was
same exact thing.
I do think that the initial hate on things tends to be a little bit excessive sometimes and a little bit performative. But to a person, all the haters, when they see the thing and it actually works, they turn around on a dime.
Yeah. House of the Dragon.
Oh, yeah. House of the Dragon. I was going to bring up the Valerian casting.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So this unacceptable abuse that Star Wars prequel era actors like On My Best that we just talked about received from fans in the late 90s and early 2000s. No, media. Fuck you. It came from your side. Has been well documented. Where's the hyperlink, dipshits? And since then, negative Star Wars voices have only been amplified by the mainstream spread of social media. Fans. Leslie Headland's groundbreaking series has been relentlessly review-bombed. It's breaking something.
What is it breaking?
Gayest Star Wars ever. Gayest Star Wars ever.
It's groundbreaking in the sense that she's digging a grave.
Groundbreakingly bad.
It's being review bombed online, causing the Acolyte to possess a huge disparity between its positive critical reception and abysmal audience score on aggregate websites like Rotten Tomatoes. Since the majority of these hate-filled criticisms are either overreactions to alleged continuity errors, alleged
my ass.
No hyperlink there either to try to prove that wrong.
Interesting.
Yeah, someone in the chat brought this up. Why does Gary read better in the gay voice? I don't understand it.
Because I gotta think about it more.
When you do something in an accent, it makes you think about it more.
So I think about it more. I have to pay attention more. Maybe I'll just read everything in the gay accent. There you go.
I couldn't tell the difference.
Hey.
Well, you do edit his videos, so
Yeah.
there's that.
Airs within Star Wars universe or backlash aimed at attacking the show's long overdue long overdue inclusivity. The bad act.
This is the first time we've had any inclusivity in Star Wars, guys. The first time.
Groundbreaking.
Never been a black person in Star Wars before.
No black people.
Next time we're gonna have black people in the MCU. We're gonna get there.
Oh.
We're gonna get there,
We'll get
ladies
there.
and gentlemen.
One day.
Maybe
One
Jared.
We will overcome.
Yeah, one day it's gonna happen.
I don't know why or where. Well, I know where it comes from. It comes from the way the schools are being structured right now. There's a video, I don't know if you've seen it, of a very good female black athlete, young, who made it to the American Olympic team.
Mm-hmm.
And she did this video where she said, finally, black girls like me can be recognized, for the accomplishment that we've done. And in the race, there was only one white.
I know what.
Women sprinting.
Is this a woman thing
like
or a black thing? But this black exceptionalism has really
it's too
been
much.
a virus in your country.
It's like LeBron James winning an MVP and say, finally a black man is being celebrated in the NBA playing basketball.
I just want to see the video. He's like, I just want to see the video where he goes, finally, I made it to page 2 of the book I was reading.
It was tough, man.
He was using the gay voice.
The bad actors spreading them are clearly spinning controversy out of nothing.
How do you even do that? If you started spinning something out of nothing, the audience would tell you. Like,
It's
all your
called
viewers
Collider.
would start ranting at you.
By the way, it's called Collider. That's what they're doing.
One of the only things that I could say, hey, this got blown out of context by some people that were either ignorant or bad actors, was the Amanda Stenberg clip from like 5 years ago, where people were presenting that as it was a tour for her promoting the Acolyte with Star Wars, that we wanted to make white people cry with it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take away from, she did say that. This is her mindset. This is who she is. But it was not promoting that. And I think a lot of people didn't get the context or didn't understand.
Yep.
That's about the only thing I could say, got spun a little bigger than it should have.
Yep.
That clip does start, though, in the movie The Hate You Give. Those are the first words of that clip. So,
yeah, but
I think if you took it the wrong way, it's more
But
your
presenting
fault
it
than the
as
person that
this
told
was
us.
an interview to promote the Acolyte was not true. Just not
Exactly.
true.
I think that's what they said. They said something
I'm
like,
just gonna be
this
honest,
is an
a lot
interview
of
from
fucking
who's
retarded
starring in the
people out
Acolyte.
there.
Yeah.
And a lot of people thought that was her promoting Star Wars.
Or perceiving it that way. There you go.
Yeah.
And this manufactured outrage can be directly traced back to the demographics of the original trilogy.
People who originally liked Star Wars? Yeah.
What?
It's those 50-year-old white guys.
Yep.
The people that buy
They say because the original trilogy had so many white people in it, it basically has convinced people that there should be no black people in Star Wars.
So fucking.
And one of the reasons there were so many Europeans in it is because they thought the British accent made good evil people. Like that's why
It was also it was filmed in England, so
I don't think I can. Is there any other point to this other than Star Wars was of its time? Although
Yes,
it's a
the
timeless
next
story.
paragraph-
The
next paragraph says that the future of Star Wars should be focused, what do you think, on entertaining people, great storytelling?
Yep.
No, the future of Star Wars should
Scroll
be
down.
focused on inclusivity and diversity.
Wow.
Kelly Marie Tran and bring it in.
When I'm writing a
powerful
screenplay,
fictional queen.
when I'm writing a screenplay, that's the first thing I think of. In fact, I got a giant plaque burned into a piece of elm.
Did we go past it? Should we?
No, keep
Well,
going.
Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Yeah,
This is just saying
filler.
women battle.
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
Oh, there we go. Yes, we have the answer. Woo! The future of Star Wars should be focused on representation and inclusivity. or representation.
It's working out very well for them so far.
This goes to show that's their metric of quality. A good show is just how diverse it is, not the quality of the storytelling, not the dialogue, not its adherence to lore or world building. If it's diverse in their mind, it's good. And anyone who criticizes it are bigots.
That sounds like a cult.
And this is kind of the interesting thing. We look at House of the Dragon, not getting review bombed, even though a lot of things similar to the Acolyte, when you just look at diverse cast, female focused, stuff like that, not getting review bombed. Then they bring up, it was very important. We had representation in Andor. Guess what? Andor, very diverse cast, had a gay relationship, had all these things, right? That didn't get review bombed either. It didn't. Now, did a ton of people watch it? No, not in comparison to some other stuff, but it's probably widely accepted as one of the best written Star Wars projects that were out there and didn't get review bombed. I mean, Disney Star Wars, by the way. Let's put that caveat on there. And it didn't get review bombed. Why is that? If all these angry people are out there, anytime they see something gay or something diverse, review bombing, where did they go for that show? They just didn't get the memo.
They didn't get the memo. Yeah.
So there is another piece in this that is more corporate, and behind the scenes, there's something called the Corporate Equity Index, and you get scored on that as part of the Human Rights Campaign project. And if you increase all the other little bits and pieces that this individual is talking about, then you get a higher score for that. Maybe that is something Disney is specifically looking to increase their corporate equity index.
Absolutely. But I mean, those were in place too. And it's pull that back up. I was going to read that one paragraph.
Okay. Sorry. We need more faggy voices.
We're not on Rumble.
We're not on Rumble yet.
That's a Rumble word.
Sorry,
that's a Mac word right there.
I meant to say poofter.
This is technically my Access Media voice. Okay, so it could be non-binary. Okay. All right, it could be asexual. It could be what it isn't is masculine. Okay, because that's evil. Thank you. Thankfully, the most recent installments in the Star Wars universe have built upon the franchise's contemporary legacy by including more representative storylines in an age of digital hate. The lesbian relationship between Vel Sartha and Cinta Kaz in Andor marks an important step forward for LGBTQ plus inclusion in Star Wars. Again, what Ryan just pointed out did not get review bombed, as does the relationship between Osha and May's mothers in Acolyte. Likewise, Kelly Marie Tran's 2018 article in the New York Times demonstrates the performers can reclaim their stories by publicly disavowing those who only have the courage to tear others down in private, which people do in Hollywood every fucking day. Yeah, do it in public.
Well, and the irony, too, is that the article was about Hollywood and not the fans. The fans are never mentioned once at all. I read the article 3 fucking times to make sure.
They're going to push their narrative.
Regarding Kelly Marie Trans, don't dress her in a hefty trash bag.
Yeah.
Well,
representation is like the participation trophy. It's meaningless, and it's actually like it just shows that you have extremely low standards for yourself. It's like, I think a perfect example is like trans dudes, like dudes pretending to be women in swimming. They couldn't get enough for their own league, so they have to ruin women's swimming, and that's what it reminds me of. It's like you didn't have enough interest to do your own thing, so you're gonna fuck up this already good thing.
Well, that's what inclusivity is. Inclusivity is the destruction of all standards. Like, people are excluded because they don't meet the current standard. So if you want to include more people, you have to lower your standards to get those in. So I don't know how you get more inclusive than the Acolyte, because now we're including actors who have absolutely no acting ability. We have reached the bottom of the barrel. You will include anyone in these shows. And so I'm not sure what this Collider author even wants. It's already not working. You want to double... How do you even double down on the Acolyte? Like,
Should we put non-football players into the NFL?
Yes,
Should we start
absolutely.
to put,
Diverse.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, the simplicity of just trying to make something popular seems to be gone. It's not their primary goal. When I was in LA, I'd be dragged into my boss's or my contact's office, and sorry to use the phrase, but he would throw in a tape. They're casting a cop show, and they're being very diverse in the cast. And the guy would throw in an actress in her audition, and he would go, Paul, what do you think? Is she fuckable? that was his criteria.
To be fair, that would be mine too.
Yeah, I mean, we need to go back to those days.
I respect it. When you get this guy on the show, he probably love us around here.
Better times, folks.
But weirdly, it's not the worst metric, because he's trying to see whether this female actress's sex appeal transfers over the TV.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he's saying. So we went through a bunch and we went, okay, these two are, yes, very much so. And those were the two women who came up for the role. And I don't think they care about that now. And I don't mean to be it in a coarse way. They're just not interested in putting good little, populating it with people that might be popular to the audience. I don't understand that.
Right.
They are. It's just the other way around. The only people you will find that like the last episode of The Acolyte are the guys that think the Sith was hot. That's what all the pro articles are like. So it is. It's just other people doing it for the blokes rather than the women. Whereas I think most people would be happy if you just did it for both of them, and everyone in these shows was like top class, just amazingly hot. I don't think anyone would have a problem with any of it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, that's the thing. But to do that,
that's how George Clooney has a job.
Not inclusive. Right. You have to exclude nearly everybody to get the hot people.
Well, what happened to all the Twilight fans? Like, what happened?
We still got one here.
There's one here.
Yeah. Can we move on from? Let's finish this article real quick, because we got to get to a different topic before Jeremy leaves. Providing an inspiring example of how actors can stand up to Star Wars' most toxic audience members, as bigoted campaigns against Obi-Wan's Moses Ingram and the Acolyte, blah, 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 New York Times, fucking Kathleen Kennedy, they all fucking suck. Fuck this.
The end.
The end. It's our fault, everybody. We did it. We did it. We made Star Wars bad. So,
congratulations.
Bring up this Deadpool. I don't want to go really the article. It's just what Sean Levy says, and we can debate this a little bit. So, Deadpool Wolverine. It's gonna be a monster movie. The pre-sales are already nuts. If you go,
popcorn buckets are off the chain,
and it's gonna be out in a couple weeks. If you don't have your tickets, don't worry, they're gonna add theaters last minute. But they're selling out. They are selling out. And Deadpool and Wolverine director Sean Levy rejects the idea of cinematic superhero fatigue. People are way too quick to declare the last rites of the superhero genre. And this is a argument that's going to go on probably forever. But I will add that he is directing a movie that is filled with every fucking superhero.
He's hoping.
So yeah. So you're going to gimmicks now. You're going into gimmicks that what. So it's a nuanced argument. And in the meantime, Marvel is having a really fucking hard time making a Blade movie. A Blade movie, which is just about Blade. It's not going to be filled with a bunch of other superheroes. And the health of the superhero franchise will be when you can go back to making singular superhero movies that aren't filled with a bunch of superheroes.
Yeah, you know why they're having a problem with Blade? Because they're trying to make it an A movie. Blade is a B or C movie.
Yes.
It's a vampire movie. It needs to look cheap. It won't work.
It needs $100 million budget minimum, at most.
Way too much.
Yeah.
Way too much.
At most. We'll say at most. And it needs to be rated R. It needs to be gory as hell.
Yep.
And it needs to be Blade killing vampires.
That's it. Done.
And not talking about his feelings.
You've just written the script, Gary.
They're having a hard time. It's a code they can't crack. But like a Superman, they're bringing out Superman, right? And they're putting in Green Lantern and Hawkgirl. And man, I don't know if they're meaning to do this, but those costumes look like shit. Now, are they trolling us with fake photos? I don't fucking know.
It's always hard though with the set picture.
It's set photos are hard.
Yeah. Well, listen, the Mr. Terrific one, I'm like, that looks like Mr. Terrific.
Yes, it does.
He literally does wear clothes like that.
Yes.
But then
Green Lantern and Hawkgirl,
that same type of weird leather. It looks like CW.
And the goddamn lines.
That was weird to me. And I really hope, obviously, with Green Lantern, you can do a lot with him in terms of special effects. But That was the first one that I saw where I was like, I'm concerned about how Green Lantern looks.
Yeah,
and I've liked all of James Gunn's costumes in the DCU. I thought they were all pretty basic, which is what you want. I want the costumes from the comics. The Suicide Squad, his versions of their costumes were really good, pretty basic colors, not a whole lot of detail. But now in this Superman movie, there's lines all over the place like Marvel.
Now you're in a position to where you have to make a Superman movie, and it's Superman, and you need to put in Green Lantern, Hawk Girl, Mr. Terrific.
Why?
Like all the why? Make a Superman movie. So it remains to be seen when they can start making singular movies again without throwing in the entire kitchen sink and fucking multiverses and stuff. Then you'll have me convinced this movie's gonna fucking do great, and I think we'll have a lot of fun with it. But like, where do you go from there? You know, they're trying to repackage Black Falcon, Captain America, the Captain America sequel without Captain America, and they're trying to make it work, and it's just not going to work.
Well, I mean, I think that we do have at least something that's more recent that didn't have all the gimmicks, and that's the Batman, and which
did pretty good.
It did pretty good. Good. I didn't think it was the greatest movie, but it was fine. But it did pretty good, and that's the whole point. Is I mean, when Batman and Robin came out and fucking just destroyed the Batman movies on screen, nobody fucking. I mean, was that because superhero fatigue, or was it shitty fucking movies? Shitty movies. And then when Batman got back on track, Batman not only just on movies, but during the Nolan trilogy, then you had the Arkham games, and you had was it Scott Snyder run? Like, Batman was dominating in all three fucking categories. He was the top of every one of them. So there was no such thing as superhero fatigue. It was bad movies. That's why people stopped going to see Batman movies. Look at the box office receipts from Batman 89 to Batman and Robin. Unbelievable drop off. But it wasn't because of superhero fatigue.
I also think you're mixing two metrics. Like, the superhero fatigue is the audience, whereas they can't make a movie without all of these extra things as the creators. So the audience aren't asking for all of these cameos and stuff in the trailers. It's the fact that they can't write anything without shoving in a load of stuff, because they can't keep an idea going for long. Something we've seen in The Acolyte. She can't keep an idea going for the entire series. We've jumped off into all these other things because she starts an arc and ends it 5 minutes later, so she needs another shiny thing to try and distract people. And it's the same with Blade. The problem isn't Blade being a movie, it's that they're trying to turn Blade into something that Blade isn't, and like having 4 different female main characters or whatever it was at one point, instead of just being a Blade movie. And so I think if they did just make good movies, no one gets fed up of good movies and like, I really wish she'd make something crap once in a while. It's a case of they're just not being given what they want by the people, and you need to exchange the people for people that will.
And yeah, I mean, there is something also to, it's not a superhero movie no longer feels like the event it once
did. It's not special. Yeah.
Right? It doesn't feel special at all anymore. And it's one thing to put out 3 Marvel movies a year, which even that is like a lot. But you're talking about, 6.5 hours of content or something. Now that we're getting 2 or 3 Disney Plus series a year as well, like, you're talking about the amount of content for the MCU going from 6 to 7 hours a year to 40, 50 hours a year. And do I think that if all of them were like the best stories we've ever seen, I still think we might see a little bit of a taper off in terms of return on investment over time. But now it's combined with you're getting all of this shoved in your face, and almost all of it is bad. So that's why it's so difficult to have this.
But I would also
argue a cinema trend in general.
Yeah, I would also argue just putting out too much of something does make it bad. Like, that's part of it. Like, that's part of the story. Like, if the MCU is just going to shit out content that even the audience can't keep up with, that's hurting the overall universe. Like, when you have a universe built around Iron Man and Captain America, and you start making stories that are supposed to be the end of the world, and Cap and Iron Man are nowhere to be found, that doesn't make any fucking sense. Where is Cap and Iron Man if it's so bad right now? Oh, well, the budget didn't call for them to be in this. That's a problem. It's a huge problem.
Oversaturation, man.
Yeah.
It's a
It's not
combination.
oversaturation. The problem is only saturation. The superhero movies killed the movie business. We're not getting Little Miss Sunshine. We're not getting The Conversation. We're not getting the French Connection. You need to have all those other movies coming out to the theaters. Then the superhero movies are just a nice little bit of icing. they gave us, like, they decided that all we needed was icing. We needed cake. They've taken the cake away.
And that's
it's hurt
why
everything's so
that's-
bad that the films that do
greedy.
come out that would fit that, like the bike riders, for instance, end up losing money. And so now, because of all of what they've done with this, they've killed independent cinema in a lot of ways.
Well, and also scarcity does, to a certain degree, breed people wanting to go see something. Having a Star Wars movie
fucking
every 3
McRib.
years makes you want to go see it.
The thing is, though, to the core fans, like, I'm not sure I've seen a point where, give them too much of a good thing and they check out. Like, give me a good comic book every single, week. I would have been there. I would have read it. I would have enjoyed it. And if all these things would have been good, I think for the core fans who love that stuff, this should have been a, superhero.
But that's not who we're playing to. So
Yeah,
the core fans have been abandoned a long.
The next one.
Yeah, the core fans have long been abandoned. It's the general public who is the vast majority, the normies who come in, and it's when they start getting tired. Fatigue is not death. It is, I'm tired of this. I'm not gonna go as much. Another fucking superhero movie filled with, and now Hollywood, to get their return, has to spend a bunch of money, and Disney in particular with Deadpool and Wolverine. And yeah, it's going to be fun. We're going to buy into it too, but it's not sustainable to have a multiverse with every fucking superhero. And at some point, you're going to have to reboot and dial shit down, dial down your budgets. We're going to, in our bonus hour, we're going to be talking about the consequences of oversaturation and the strikes and everything Hollywood's gone through, because Hollywood has long past reached maturity. Like, they just have.
No,
as far as cinematic, as far as movies are concerned,
it's the mindset that they have this idea that every superhero movie has to be like the biggest thing ever.
Yeah,
and it
you
has
have to hit
make
a home run
$1 billion
every
top
time.
net. And
Exactly,
that's
exactly.
That's not reality. It's
No.
just not. And that's what. But even like Blade, you're talking about Blade earlier, and they had this idea that why do we love Blade so much? It wasn't this big budget event thing. It was like this cult following that created with Blade, and it was phenomenal. Yeah. And you found people that didn't even know about Blade, and you're like, dude, have you seen Blade? And like,
because Wesley Snipes was fucking great in it. He was great, and it had a decent enough story. Yeah, a great opening scene, and it was just a fun movie.
And it's not. It's absolutely not an A character or an A movie. It's a movie that needs to be treated like it is, and they're trying to turn it into something that it's not, and that's going to ultimately ruin any chance. Because Mahershala Ali is a really good actor.
Really good actor that you should not be fucking with.
Yeah, great screen presence. And how long? When was this announced? Like 4 or 5 years ago?
Well, to your point, not everything's a franchise. Some things are just singular movies. Blade is not a franchise. You can make a one Blade movie, throw them in like the Midnight Sun, spelled S-O-N, not S-U-N, Marvel, you fucking retards. And that's the one thing like Marvel hasn't explored is the horror part with Man-Thing and Ghost Rider and Blade. And they went to America Chavez and all this fucking post-2014 shit for a lot of reasons, but it's the stuff that was created under Disney, by the way. But they just haven't been giving people what they want. So when they do give people what they want, it's White Boy Summer because Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds are coming back. I think Despicable Me 4 is doing pretty good too. I saw it yesterday.
Yeah. The bottom line is it is good fucking shit. People are going to turn out for it. Hey, listen,
I was with my family. It was 4th of July. Okay, it was 90 minutes long.
You dragged them there.
Okay. He was a little defensive there.
He was there alone.
No one saw fireworks afterwards. Okay.
You wanted to go see it. It's fine.
It wasn't. It's a woke disaster. It's filled with intersectional feminism and it's destroying Western civilization. Despicable Me 4. That's my review. No, it's fine.
But no. Damn, I fucking forgot my point now. Gary's all getting super defensive over Despicable.
Gary acted like he just said he liked Twilight, man.
That would approve.
I laughed at the Minions. Okay, I'm sorry.
Who said Twilight? Who said Twilight? What are we talking
about? The point I was going to make is it is weird because while yes, the gimmick is a Spider-Man No Way Home, as much as like I think we all liked it very much. It was a gimmick. That's what drew people in. The gimmick. Deadpool is a gimmick.
Secret Wars is going to be a massive gimmick that we're all going to see.
Then you had the Flash, which is a gimmick that nobody saw.
Oh.
Nobody. But to be fair, the DC cinematic universe is just it's a different animal than the MCU. They don't even
most of the cameos were fucking CG. Most of the cameos are fucking
blurry,
CG.
kind of distant. Yeah.
It was such a low effort. Holy
bad.
dog shit. Oh.
It's really bad. It's really bad.
Was
But
it Nicolas Cage who said he wasn't even fighting a spider? Like,
No,
they just
he wasn't.
changed what he was fighting.
Oh man.
But if he comes back as Ghost Rider and Ben Affleck's back as Daredevil and Chris Evans as Human Torch, that's gonna be rad.
There's a way to do it if you want to do those gimmicks with the DC movie. There's a way to do it, but they just fucked it all
They
up.
didn't do it that way.
Dude, they fucked up
question is-
Michael Keaton coming to Batman, something he said he would never do.
Yeah.
I think he even made a movie about it. I think it's called, there's a whole fucking movie about how his whole experience.
So the question is will Deadpool and Wolverine make $1 billion?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Do you think it's guaranteed at this point?
Fast is going to be the question.
Still, the rated R though. It's a rated R movie. We can't forget about
Oh,
that.
I think with the numbers we're showing projection wise, and anything could change, right? And it could come out, could be super terrible and get really bad word of mouth. But I don't think most people feel that'll be the case.
Yeah. Smart money's on it making $1 billion for sure.
Yeah, it's just crazy that the smart money on an R-rated movie is on it making $1 billion. But
Mhm.
right now it's projected around $200 million opening weekend domestically. I think Spider-Man No Way Home was like what, $250 domestically opening weekend.
Yeah, and you mentioned, Ryan, we've all mentioned it, like $1 billion doesn't mean what it did even 5 years ago.
Tell me
there's
about it.
$700 million movie 5 years ago.
I get $1 billion a day from my YouTube channel, and like,
It doesn't.
Can't even buy Canadian health care for that.
It doesn't. It doesn't
say
mean.
nothing.
It doesn't mean what it used to in terms of just money, but it does mean. Honestly, it means almost more in terms of just box office because no films are hitting that mark.
Yeah,
it just shows how
Inside Out 2's the only one this year.
Well,
and based on what they
theaters
typically spend on Deadpool, the chances of it, like with hitting $1 billion, it's going to make tons of profit for them.
The
speed
theaters
is really going to come down to how well does it hold, because typically big superhero films have massive drop-offs. Even the ones that are even on the better side have massive drop-offs, whereas the kids' movies, like,
they have legs. They have legs.
usually
And
have legs.
theaters are smaller. They have fewer seats than they did 5 or 6 years ago. During COVID, when the theaters got a bunch of taxpayer money, they put in a bunch of nice seats that we all get to sit in, but that's fewer people that you're charging more money to. This is something the comic industry was able to keep afloat for a long time, charging more money to fewer people with variants and charging more for comics. It's a way to keep an industry that's reached maturity afloat for much longer. But the amount of tickets sold is down.
we need to bring
guarantee
more
if you-
people into theaters. They need to reduce the ticket prices.
Yep.
I guarantee that if the same number of people went to see Deadpool Wolverine that went to see Deadpool 2, like R-rated movie, right, whatever, the same number of people went to that, you would be talking about a movie that makes a 1.2 billion or something.
Yeah.
When Deadpool 2 came out.
Yep. So we'll find out. But I'm looking forward to Deadpool and Wolverine. Oh, real quick before we get to super chats, Ryan,
I haven't even seen a trailer for it.
Did we get really?
I've been avoiding it. I've been avoiding it.
You have a daily pop culture fucking show, dude. Look at Ryan. Look at Ryan.
I wasn't on when it came out. I wasn't on when
Jesus
the
Christ.
trailer came
Also,
out.
if you see a film in theaters, they have the whole little, like, them telling you to shut your phone off before the show starts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Watch movies.
Real quick before we get soups, Ryan. There was the rumor out there that so there was a point in that clip we saw last week where they said fight of the century, and you're like,
And
hey, that doesn't match.
skeptical.
So now there's a rumor out there. Did that get was that from somebody who actually saw that, or was that bullshit?
That was they did a big screening in of 30 or 40 minutes of it in China for some reason. Oh, I think it's because they did just officially get China to sign
Did
off.
they
on a
open
version
another
of the film.
concentration camp and maybe they celebrated that?
Maybe.
Okay.
But yeah, there's a much bigger fight that apparently was teased that is not that people may have been waiting decades for, that is not Wolverine versus Sabretooth. So I don't know if you want to say it, but
Hulk 181.
yeah.
There you go. Hulk
Be badass.
181. That'd be fucking awesome.
Give him the helmet.
As long as it's not
Dude,
Professor
hell yeah.
Hulk, yeah, that'd be fucking cool. All right, Jeremy, you got to go.
Gotta go. You guys are awesome. Hail to Rumble, and we're looking forward to seeing what happens. And good to have Disparu on, and good to see Paul again. You guys have a good one. Fuck
yeah,
you,
you
Ryan.
too.
I'll talk to all of you later. Hi, everybody. All right,
Bye, Jeremy.
I'll be at the RNC in a couple of weeks.
Oh,
I'll be at the RNC and getting coverage, Republican National Convention.
Nice.
So looking forward to that. But thanks, guys. Hail Friday Night Tights. Bye,
right.
everyone.
Bye,
Yeah.
I gotta head out. See you guys. Take care of the
Gary.
kids. See y'all.
Can I tease a little something?
Bye, Odin. Yes, of course.
Bye.
Wait, you're not gonna whip out your dick, are you?
I'm
We're
not
on
whipping
Rumble
it.
yet. Okay.
It's not a little something.
All right.
So, I do a little show called Normal World. I'd like to present a sketch we created.
Ooh.
Oh my god, this is fucking hilarious.
I'm not sure if you can tell or not, but I'm a giant alien from outer space. So I don't even know what that means.
Well, I think it's about time you learn.
Allies, assemble! It's time for marginalized trans acceptance.
Holy shit.
I love the big trunk at the crotch.
Fully vaccinated.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Our motto is, when they go low, we go high.
Looks like I might have some fun after all. Draw your weapons, creature.
Nice.
Howard Ranger.
Hey, what was your budget for that?
That was fucking hilarious, man.
I was not ready for that.
Yeah, we
Is
need
there
more
a
of
Yellow
that.
Ranger?
Did that cost you $180 million over at the Blaze?
Yeah, it was just the 3D model alone. Little insight baseball on that. That wasn't going to be Michelle, Big Mike. It was originally going to be George Floyd.
And why was it not George Floyd, Garrett?
I think Dave was just like, maybe too far. Maybe too far. So,
Maybe.
That's
I think it
awesome.
worked with the trunk. I think it worked
Colin
with the trunk.
Kirkpatrick. It
Oh,
should have
yeah,
been
it's
Colin
better than
Kirkpatrick.
Colin Kaepernick.
Colin
big,
Kaepernick, and then
afro.
and have this thing go boing. Yeah, see.
Yeah, that's a great idea. That's the second movie.
With
That
his,
was great.
you should have like his white parents dropping him off and then building.
Yeah. That's just a taste. Just a taste.
Just a taste.
I love it. That is great. This
Good
is
job,
why
Garrett.
independent stuff is the best.
Thank you.
Good job.
Good job, guys. Okay, so we're gonna
Ad.
do some soups, and then what was that? You're gonna say something?
Ad. The ad.
Oh, we have to read the ad now.
Oh,
Or later. Okay, fine.
We do it. Let's get some super chats first.
do
Please.
some
Let's get
soups.
some soups first, and then we're gonna read an ad. I'm gonna lead in, and Ryan's gonna help me because I can't pronounce half the words on this. Maybe if I do gay voice, Tamiflu,
I got it for you.
hydrox. I just want to say oxycodone, which we shouldn't say.
That's not in the
That's not it. That's not it. That's very bad, by the way.
Ad read hasn't started yet.
I got a custom one that I wrote, so you didn't have to do like all that mumbo jumbo and shit.
Well,
Okay.
just
I
so you
wrote
know, the tweet that got me banned was very gay. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah, what was it?
So it was. I said, well, I'm arguing with a guy about not killing Jews. It was very.
Not killing.
Were you for or against?
I'm against.
Okay.
And he was for.
We wanted to clear that up, Paul. Thank you.
And we went back and forth. It was very insulting, and I don't tend to insult people until the very end. And then I said, "Sorry, I can't hear you. I can't read your tweet because of the dick in your mouth."
Seriously,
That's it?
Banned? What the fuck?
That was it.
Wow.
That is what got
We've
me
said
banned.
worse on that show on the show today.
I know.
Yeah.
I have
Insane.
I have worse words.
Come on,
tattooed
Elon.
my ass.
Maybe he got
crazy.
triggered because he only sucks little dicks, and the implication that he couldn't speak through that was very offensive.
And
There you
that's that. And they got me fast and kicked me off, and that's why I'm not on Twitter because of that. Which I think is funny because as you guys said, you read more offensive stuff like that, you know. all the time.
You look happier though.
You scroll by posts with people
I
with
feel
dicks
better
in their mouths.
Yes, you do. They're. I mean, that's yes.
I was addicted to Twitter. Seriously, my wife. I would completely admit it. That's like my one rule that kept me alive was to turn it off 2 hours before bedtime. But
there you go.
Now I don't do it at all. Like I'm seriously
like scrolling Twitter in secret around corners.
I know. You've been in the bathroom for 2 hours, Paul.
I'm reading the old Archie comics.
I'm combing my hair.
She's like, "What you doing over there?" I'm on Tinder. It's like...
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. Just get off of. If you're on Grindr, that's fine. Just get off of Twitter.
Roland the Wretched, 5 parts for $125 total. Hail, brother! I lightsabered my pubic hair this week, and surprisingly, my junk now looks like a foot long and 2 marshmallows that spent all night cooking over in a space campfire. This is further proof Darth Weinstein's apprentice hates me. Can I claim to be quarter black?
No.
He said no. I don't know why people are attacking Jeremy for his reaction videos on Star Wars. Don't they realize he is the gayest YouTuber this side of Dan Vosk and should be beyond reproach? I agree with that. I don't know, though. Dan Vosk is pretty gay. Garrett should be tossing Gary salad every night for giving him a job.
What's wrong with you, Roland?
Roland Hollywood.
You just mad I won't let you be a quarter black? Fine.
According to Disney, 3/4 gay and 1/4 black isn't enough of either to get you a job. Without Gary, you would be hoeing on a corner with Ian or at Crowder, which is the same thing.
Which is the same thing. Oh. Rolling.
Disparu, you have some big shoes to fill, and that lesbian haircut works for being a guest, but a permanent panelist, you are going to have to start loving man tits and move to Papua New Guinea. I hope Az is watching and that I ruined his second FAP.
I'm sure you'll manage.
There's a lot of 38 seconds in this episode. Okay. Haven't done the math. X-ray girl? No, you don't have to do it.
Thank you.
Today's read is Isaiah 43:18. Remember ye not the former things, neither consider the things of Az. Everyone tag Az with hashtag free Roland the Wretched, Hail FNQ, Fellowship, Chat, Mods, Baby Thor, and Pizza Time Hawaiian Pizza, which is move locations from Escondido to San Marcos. Until next time, so long, gay boys! Thank you, Roland. Oh, he puts a lot of effort in that. That's really good. Almost as much as he put into waxing his balls. Blair to Blair for 50. Putting Kiadi Mundi was not a mistake by bad writers, but rather a choice to lay the groundwork to completely redo the canon for future remakes. Well, they're doing that anyway, and they can, and they will, and they will. I mean, getting rid of the EU, is it the biggest mistake by Kathleen Kennedy? It's in the top 3. It's in the top 3.
Yep.
I mean, I'm certainly more attached than a lot of other people are. But yeah, I think it was stupid. Like, if you truly did want a clean slate, right, and freedom to do whatever, then, maybe that would be one thing. But instead, all they've done is like pilfer things and do it in a bastardized way. In a worse way. So I think that's the worst of both worlds there.
I got to work out how I'm going to... No, I'm figuring out how I'm going... I didn't know... Wait a minute. No. Okay, Garrett.
We defeated Medicare.
X-ray girl.
I just find the dead air.
I'm the first. Okay. I'm proud to be the first black female president.
Black female president. Oh, I can rake community notes now, Ryan. So, like, I saw the community notes under that thing that people were getting. I'm like, fucking no, boo, shooting them all down. Boo. They're like, he meant to say, no, what did he say? What did he say? We know what he meant to say.
There should just be a community note that says Joe Biden was not the first female black president or something. Like, there should be a note that says that corrects him.
X-Ray Girl, pronounce very carefully this name.
The next one, Vigorelli.
Okay, that's good. Institute.
Oh, okay.
For 50. Thanks to treason in 1776, I'm off. Shad, I have recently conquered Australia and subdued the emus in my stream of EU4. Tonight, I'm working on an anthology of short stories that an AI helped me write. I'm also halfway done with my third novel, Iron Age. Hail to the Iron Age. IA helped you write it, man. You admitted it. There's going to be a lot of...
Hey, if it makes a good story, I don't freaking care. Like, just give us good stories.
That's right. So a couple topics we're going to talk about in the bonus hour. One of them is Hollywood austerity. Found a little article like that. Well, Lady Greymaster. And Neil Gaiman. We're going to discuss Neil Gaiman. He's in a little bit of trouble right now. But it's not really about its trouble, and it's more about the coverage of his trouble, which I find interesting.
Did you see what he said during the strikes? I had the best quote of any of them.
Remind me.
He said it was to, and the words that you write on a Friday that you come back to a Monday and realize they're not that bad after all. And it was literally just, when I leave my work, come back to it like, that'll do. And I just carry on.
That's fine.
Well, it's a little bit more than that. It's a little bit more than that, but we'll get into it. Dokuristu? What? Dokuritsu has gifted 50 Nerdrotic memberships, $250. Thank you. The members will be rewarded with a watch party of The Acolyte, episode 7, because I love you so much.
Yay.
Yay.
So excited.
Ryan, a good Ryan, for 50 euros. Thank you very much. Says, since when did people tune into Star Wars to see what beefcake emerges from the water? Since Disney. There's always been that element in fandom. Okay, that's always, and I agree with Ryan that there is a story to tell out there, and it's probably in a book. That would be good, written by somebody with talent, of some Jedi turning because she wants to get laid, or she's got feelings or something. That could absolutely work. But this is fanfic. This is what they wanted. This is what they're going for. This is the audience they've always wanted, and they thought that audience was huge, and it's not. And that audience, it's very tiny. It's kind of tiny. It's like tiny, like Smilo Ren's little peepee. But
I knew you were gonna go there.
But of that tiny portion of the audience, they ain't got no money. They're not fucking buying anything.
They're tweeting about it.
They're tweeting about it. They're pirating the episodes.
Hey, they're going to go full parrot analytics. Wow, look how much this is talked about.
They're watching it on their parents' copy of Disney Plus.
They're interested in the social interaction on social media, but they're not interested in the things like the merch. And so all you get is it looks really popular and just dies immediately.
Yep. Gabriel Knight for $49.99. Thank you. Chrissy, don't play with your boobs in the lobby like last night. What were you thinking? Shame.
Okay, I can explain.
I'm going to need some explanation.
I was live streaming last night from the balcony of this hotel that we're kind of staying at. Like, when we're up here all the time, like we stay in like a condo, but then there's like a main hotel, and I was streaming from the balcony, which was out in the elements. It was humid AF. I was covered in little moths. Nobody else wanted to go out there, and like some lady complained that I maybe casually grabbed my boobs during a live stream and then sent out security and the hotel management to reprimand me. It was insane. Like, and I don't know if they thought I was trying to do like, I don't know.
OnlyFans.
Can you do a demonstration to show us what you did so we can say whether it was really bad?
This is for the audience.
I was just like, like that. It was like really nothing. It was like maybe 5 seconds.
It was an attitude adjustment. Yeah.
Degeneracy.
Yeah, and
a little boob sweat. It was humid out there.
Yeah, they came out to yell at me. I was like, are you effing kidding me? I was like, I'm sitting here in a flannel shirt. I was like, I'm a new mom. I'm trying to make a living. You have a problem with me? I'm like, there's a room full of people and they're fingering each other. Why don't you go deal with that? Because it was like, they had the music on and it was like, whatever.
What else could they been doing?
Their attempt at a social scene. I'm like, go fucking deal with those people. And then I basically like barked them away. It was exciting.
Good for you.
Well done.
Yeah.
Good. Well done.
It's not fingering, Chrissy. It's digital penetration.
Right.
I don't know which one's worse, Gary.
We've left analog now.
That sounds so much worse than like
It does.
fingering. Yeah.
And that's in reference to what we're going to talk about with Neil Gaiman later. So I was in a chat. Just how stupid I am. I was in a chat and I'm like, I just never wanted to know what digital penetration was, and I had no idea that was the term for it. And I thought it was like just
fingers.
I thought it was some. I thought it was some. Yeah, it makes sense now, but I thought it was some shit like over the internet or something. Like
he shoved a fucking cell phone in her pussy. Is
Yeah,
that
like, what is that? Yeah.
Like,
just say finger bang. Everybody knows that's universal. Okay. Magnum Norse for 101.99. 199. Jeremy has a disability, and it ain't situational because he's a product of cousins. Gary is blind. Ryan has anger problems. Chrissy is a bigot adjacent. Quarter Black Garrett ain't black. Odin is, Comics is the first man who admitted into daycare. Shad is Disparu's father. Chato is his mother. Hail! Wow. I mean, it all checks out. I think being blind, I am the best off. There you go.
Oh. We're getting into the storyline of Dark there. Is that
Ministry of Wrong thing for $49.99. All hail Az the Silverback. Who's Az?
I don't know.
Right?
Some dude.
I auditioned for Az. Did I get it?
You could be as
what you were
Shave your
auditioning
head.
for was as the mouth.
Too much
but,
hair.
Are you attracted to trans people?
Me?
With
It
tits.
depends how much they're willing to pay me. I'm not I'm not as attracted as Hugh Grant is.
Oh, or Eddie Murphy.
what about Eddie
Or
Murphy?
Eddie Murphy. Yeah.
All hail Az of Silverback and Golden Heart, rightful heir to the chair stream throne, lover of love handles and of trans men, father of peeping Tom, alumnus. Oh, I thought alumni alumnus of FNT. The unslept pronouns Bane. Az is dead. Long live the Silverback. I still don't know who this Az guy everybody's talking about. I have no idea.
Alumni is the plural, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So alumnus is singular.
Singular. Okay. Gotcha.
Like saying, hey, look at this octopi. Yeah.
Look at those Jedis. It's not supposed to be Jedis. There you go.
I said it,
Elite
Jedi.
Neo for 50. Hail Fellowship tuned in on time thanks to being off for a 4-day weekend. Hail. Checked out some Cobra Kai teaser clips and saw Mike Barnes will be returning as a sensei along with Daniel, Johnny, and Chosen. Those students will be a force to be reckoned with. I'm looking forward to it. Trailer was fine. It was all right. It was like anything.
I'll see it through.
Oh, hell yeah, I'm going to see it through. I just rewatched it. Ryan just rewatched. I still
House
have
of
one.
Cards.
I haven't watched House of Cards because I'm not done with Stranger Things because in the 4th season, I completely forgot, even though I just saw it recently, that the last 2 episodes are like movies. One's an hour and a half.
How all of season 5 is going to be.
All of
Watch
season,
the
yeah.
British House of Cards.
Is that good? The British one?
Oh, it's fantastic.
Oh.
Yeah, because that's the original book. The book is like a British, like somebody in Parliament or whatever.
It's just fantastic.
Yeah, and so
Do you
then they
need
made
to
a
know how
show
the
about
structure
that.
works?
It's the script is almost the exact same for the first like eight shows,
Yeah.
but the performances are different. The American one starts off really, really well and then ends badly because what's her name suddenly became the politician. And
Yeah, Kevin Spacey got wrote out of the show, and he is the show. Like,
well, no, I mean the
last
American
season's
one
so bad.
is good, but the British one is the British one. It's really well done.
You really are trying to get that spot for Az.
It is interesting how taking British shows and just changing the actors to American actors, but keeping the script the same, entirely changes the show. So you had like Coupling, literally the same script, doesn't work. In-Betweeners doesn't work. Red Dwarf didn't work. And they're using the exact words, but the delivery's different. Everyone comes across different. And Americans generally hire like more attractive people to do these roles. And you find a lot of British humor is just like, they're just weird looking.
That really sounded like a self-report there, Disparu.
No, it is. The Brits like that. They like weird, quirky things.
Yeah. British,
like Americans are like, no, we want this hot guy. It's like,
I think they just
meant to be
like
a weirdo.
British TV works because of the bad teeth.
The bad everything.
Well, and it's true. When you look at the first season of The Office, they were very much trying to do a one-for-one, do the British Office in America. And the vibe just didn't quite work.
No.
And once they got out of that, and also it was kind of rushed. It was only 6 episodes because they needed to get it done quickly to fill in for something that was getting canceled. And in season 2 is where they really kind of reach out and do their own thing and start hitting their stride. And it's funny as fuck.
Carol is not mean. He can't do mean.
Steve Carell?
Carell cannot do mean. So they had to adjust the show to accommodate his kind of incompetence, whereas Gervais did mean. And that's what was brilliant about the show. I mean, if you want stomach wrenching, embarrassing moments, you watch the British version.
There you go. Okay.
But they're both good.
Before we continue, I think it's time. It's all right. Sorry. Stop being so Canadian.
I'm tangent man.
But you might want to have one of these in Canada. Although you guys don't really care about that because you just kill yourselves and you pay for it for some reason.
The government pays for it.
Ryan's gonna read this because he's probably got a better version of it. But I was thinking this was gonna be on Rumble. I don't know if I should use my joke.
I don't know.
I don't think I should use the joke that I was gonna lead into this. One of the beauties of the ad reads that we're gonna do is they're allowing me to riff, but this one, maybe I'll tell you on Rumble what I was gonna say. But Ryan, please tell us about the wellness company and the Contagion Emergency Kit. Comics should love this stuff. He's a prepper.
Oh, hell yeah.
Look at that. Look at that. All right. I'm going to read the same thing I did that I wrote for the Geeks and Gamers daily stream because I didn't know this is the same ad. But coming off July 4th, freedom is on the mind of most Americans and many others around the world. And if there's one thing recent history has shown us, medical freedom has been under attack and politicized with recent worldwide events. It's our own personal responsibility to be prepared, and the wellness company can help you do that. With household medical kits filled with potentially life-saving medication and equipment, you can avoid the wait times, chaos, and price of a hospital visit to help protect you and your family. With multiple kits available from a travel kit, first aid kit, general medical kit, and this one, the Contagion Kit, the wellness company allows you to be prepared to treat a variety of medical conditions, including some life-saving medications that were wrongfully vilified by the powers that be during the COVID-19 debacle. Get any one of these kits and the medication provided for less than the cost of a single doctor visit prescribed by a medical doctor right here in the United States. It's your responsibility to prepare for the unexpected. You can do so today by going to twc.health/nerdrotic. That's twc.health/nerdrotic. Use code nerdrotic at checkout and get 10% off and free shipping.
It also contains forceps in case you have a gerbil stuck up your ass.
Yeah.
Yes, they've got some for the gays as well.
You can
you have a small pee-pee.
you can hide your weed in there too if you want. Well, do you need to hide weed anymore? Probably
Not
not.
yet.
Never mind.
Which state?
Yeah. Also, prep early, prep often.
Oh yes, be ready. You never know when a giant rock is going to come and kill us all. Although I don't know if that is going to help us.
Or the sun explodes.
Is weed
Sun
illegal?
explodes.
The French.
What? It's illegal here in Texas.
Probably half the states probably it's still illegal, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Ish.
Illegal-ish. I think it's decriminalized in most of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes it unfun.
Still Schedule 1, though, nationwide, though.
That's just Fed
It
stuff.
was way more fun when it was illegal. Okay, it just was. Sit at your dealer's house, listening to him complain about his old lady for an hour. There's some weird guy fixing a radio and tweaking in the other room. There's a bunch of dogs running around. Yeah, it's good times, man.
When I was a young, acid was my jam.
Same here.
It would be funny if the wellness company packs it was just weed. It was like,
well, that's the meteor.
Wellness.
That's the meteor kit. If the meteor is coming, you just break it open and smoke a bunch of weed. Wait for the end
Make
to come.
sure you're relaxed.
It's like it doesn't solve
Go
anything.
out
It
with
just
the
makes you not
blaze.
care.
Yeah, if you listen to suspicious observers, there ain't no kit. We're all gonna die. Good. Love Ben though. Love Ben. Old
Good
Renaissance.
job, by the way, Ryan.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was good.
Thanks, Ryan. Well
He's a
done.
lousy boss. Gary's a lousy boss.
I'm the worst. I'm absolutely the worst.
You're being too kind. I felt the delivery was a bit stale, Ryan. You could do better.
Well,
You like Twilight.
Listen.
Yeah.
Please, Sparkle.
This is the universal report.
Yeah.
The first take was better. All right. The first take was better.
There you go. Thank you, Ryan. Old Renaissance Boomer for 50. Wow. So the only thing Disney has done since obtaining the IPs is come up with said in fine Asian accent like X-Ray Girl intro white. Oh, wait.
People.
Nurse What and Smilo Wen managing to rival Ubisoft for insulting blacks and Asians. Hashtag hail the fellowship in 199. Hail to you. Cheers. Dan Desio for 50. Thanks to this episode of The Acolyte, now's a more perfect time to say, even though it was an EW thing, EU thing.
EU.
Catorsis. Yeah, catorsis. Did I say this right? Cortorsis, not catorsis, not contortion. Cortorsis. Cortosis. I'm having some neurosis with cortosis. Sounds like a kid with a speech problem trying to tell his friends what he learned in health class, especially since it's hard to find. Gatekeeper for $99.99. Does need a second career with how many of you guys I'm joining. Shout out to Platoon, Ryan, Drinker, Mahler, Odin, Disparu, Alan Ing, and Chris. Wait, not giving any spoilers. Now, let me immediately spoil everything Gore, which is so true. Gary, you're still my favorite. Wish you all continued success and good health. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Especially Chris. He needs some good health. He doesn't need another stroke. Echelon second. Did I get that right? X-ray girl. Ecthelion. Echelon. There's no S in there. So Ecthelion the second. On the Streamlabs side for 40. Hope everyone had a good 4th. I did. Gary, sorry it's been a while. Work has been crazy. Well, fucking quit your job. No, don't. I have 2 questions. Where can I source the 2nd season of OG Doctor Who physical? And where can I get a good quality region-free DVD player? You could still get one on Amazon or go, I think, at Best Buy. You can still go get region-free. Where can you source a 2nd season of OG Doctor Who? You're going to have to, what they have, you're going to have to go find, there's DVDs. There are some bootlegs out there. They're animating some stuff. But, get the region free and just get the DVD stuff because they are re-releasing the Blu-rays out of order. I don't know what the rhyme or
lose a good chunk of Doctor Who.
Yes, like a lot of episodes. And there was somebody who's been trying to find them, and they've been animating. So a lot of them they have the audio for, but they don't have the video. But they just taped over it.
CBC did that too.
Yeah. But that's the
Canadian broadcorping castration.
Yeah, back in the day when there wasn't any available VHS, I would just get bootlegs of what British people recorded over their fucking television or Canadian or Australian at Comic-Cons. That's the way I did it. Ryan's Gay Subconscious on the Streamline side for 50. Another Acolyte show down, weak-ass writing and lore-breaking plot as usual. That said, I appreciate the shirtless Sith character. I could even see a little bit of myself in that character, like a little bit, like just the tip. Thank you for your honesty. Patrick Ells for 100. Wow. Remember when you drew an X over Luke? Oh, remember when they drew an X over Luke's face? Yep. Memba, when they destroyed our boy Lando? We Memba the whiteboard. Hail all R.I.P. as whoever you are. The Muffin Man Zach on the Streamlabs side for $100. Arise, riders of Theoden. Commies shall be shaken. Fascists will be splintered. A sword day, an American day. Ere the globalist rises. Would you like to know more? Hashtag GoFundMe, and then says join Zach in boosting San Diegans volunteerism. So there's a link in there. What kind of volunteer? What's going on in San Diego? Volunteering what? To make fucking bongs? I mean, like it's.
I looked
else
at
they do
the. I looked at the GoFundMe, and it's about local schools, scouts, and churches. So.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, sorry to insult.
Actual volunteers. Not a joke. What?
I'm from
It's not a
San Diego.
joke.
I'm from San Diego. The most important thing that most of those people was going to the beach, brah, catching some waves, and smoking some bowls. Samuel Ayrton for $49.99. The irony is, by saying the original trilogy has too many white people and was written and acted from a white Eurocentric lens, and if the new stuff is for women / LGBTQ, you forgot the plus bigot, they are implying from their own mouths white dudes are better at writing and acting.
Yeah.
And
No,
also
that's
forgetting that it's been diverse and it was of its time, but it's of its time and it didn't have all that on the nose political shit in it, and that's why it's a timeless story that's still around, going on. Jesus, it's going to be 50 years.
Part of the problem with the diversity is that when you make things diverse, then it doesn't look interesting. In that, if you go to Taiwan, you're at a country with a group of people, and so if I was going to make a new Star Wars, and let's say there's a desert planet, then dark-skinned aliens kind of makes sense. They shouldn't look like multicultural Toronto. Go to another place of a forest, and maybe you hire a bunch of Finnish people, the lighter skin, so they all look of a kind. That's what makes things look alien and interesting and more genetically correct. This whole thing where the entire universe is a mixed bag would never happen.
Well,
It's just not right.
It happened with J.K. Rowling for the Harry Potter movies. She said everyone needs to be British because it's a British school, so it only makes sense that the local people would go to that school. I think she made one exception, but she was like, it would be weird if you went to a British school and had like a load of American accents and then Australian accents, and then
sense.
like some Far Eastern ones thrown in.
But that's my point.
Entirely obliterate the believability.
Like there's a handful of black characters and a few Indian characters that are named in the Harry Potter series. If you look up the demographic numbers from the UK in the 90s when this was set, it aligns perfectly with that, right? Now you do that nowadays, maybe downtown London might be a little different,
a little darker.
But this is a story that's set in the 90s.
Set in the 90s, and there are schools in other countries. Those are accounted for. They're just, they're part of it in the fourth book.
they're mentioned.
But they're
African school grades on a curve, stuff like that.
It's a simple shorthand to make it feel like you've got a bunch of alien people of a kind in each part, in each corner of the universe. You use what we have on this planet to your advantage. Toronto is very multicultural, as in many cities in the United States, but I don't go to Hungary to make it look like Toronto. I don't go to Vietnam. I don't want it to look like fucking Toronto. That's not why I travel halfway across the world. Oh, look, I'm in Toronto again. That's not what I want.
Yep.
This is the stupidity of this diversity bullshit when it comes to entertainment. It makes it less. The more you try to make it diverse, the less interesting it is.
Yeah, it's the whole, try and make something for everyone, and you make it for
nobody.
And they're so desperate to make it just this diverse kind of blend where it's all looking the same. And we saw that with Wheel of Time TV, a show adaptation where the two rivers looked exactly like this multicultural metropolitan place, Tarvolin, which is a whole nother, city and stuff like that. And they ruined a lot of the cultural elements of that world for the sake of diversity, and it just made it boring and all the same.
And the thing is, you can do it in subtle ways. I mean, American Black Americans look different from Ivory Coast blacks. If you took a whole bunch of actors from that region and pretended to populate a planet, so they're all from the Ivory Coast, you'd go, oh, these people look different from, the WNBA, whatever. That's so you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's but no one thinks of it in that sense.
Except for Hollywood. They think of it in a certain sense. Quelmdar on the Streamlabs side for $50. Happy Independence Day weekend, everyone. Sorry to those outside the U.S. you're missing out. And condolences to those in England who somehow got the Empire voted into power. Hail to the Fellowship. Yeah,
it was inevitable.
That was inevitable. I mean, just the Tories just
happy
sucked.
4th of July weekend to all my American friends.
Cheers. We had a good old time. Barbecue.
Burns around.
Like, you don't have to go to work after the 4th of July, right? Regardless of when it falls, it's just a long ass weekend.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's on a Tuesday,
Wednesday,
Thursday, Friday.
It becomes a week. It should be a fucking month. Ninja Petey on the Streamlabs side for $50 in the Navy. There's an old saying, it's not gay when you are underway. Ryan Kinnell has his own favorite saying. Hey guys, you want to get underway? Oh, Gary can't pronounce
It's mostly for sub guys, just to be clear.
Yeah.
We got women on aircraft carriers. Not the best looking ones, but we got women.
Yep. They usually don't like men, but it's all right.
My saying is that it's not gay if you don't swallow.
Okay.
All right.
Wow.
My saying is that's gay.
Definitely a sub guy thing. 200 men go down, 100 couples come up.
My dad was talking to a Navy guy. He said, is that true? And he said, yeah, a lot of people love a bit of porthole pudding, which is my favorite terminology for it.
Porthole pudding.
Moving on. Wow. Gary can't pronounce my name for $75. Hey there, long time. First time. Oh, right. Rest in peace, Az. Who in the fuck is Az?
Yeah, people keep bringing it out. I don't know who that is.
Will not be the same without him. What would it take to bring him back? Who? A GoFundMe? No. Also, Gary, a long time ago, you gave an inspiring interview about your life story. Can you do another one? I will be doing something like that, but it won't be an interview. Doing a book, which will be out later this year.
You'll have to read.
You'll have to read it or listen.
Audiobook.
Yes, there will be.
Gary, when you read the audiobook, will it be in the gay article voice?
Yes. It might have to be.
Maybe it's an option.
Might have to be.
Click on the option.
Think of how long it's going to take you to get through that, to read that without mistakes.
Months. That's why it's going to be coming out like 6 months after the book is released. So.
Press 1 for
maybe
regular
3.
Gary. Press 2 for gay.
Can I AI my own voice?
Yes, you can. You can.
Yeah,
You actually can, yes.
You actually can, and it works extremely well.
Talk to Grant Gregory.
No, nobody's going to believe it because I'm like, man, this is Gary reading really well. This is bullshit. It's AI.
This is too professional.
Cat G, 3,000 for $5. Holy cats, Chato. That was brilliant. Whatever you said was brilliant. Just say thank you.
Oh, his pronoun rant.
No, thank you.
Oh, his pronoun rant. That was good, by the way.
It's gotta be.
Stay at home hippo for $5. Hail FNT. Welcome, Paul Chato, and a special welcome to the new host, Disparu. Sadly, at RIP Az. Who the fuck is Az?
I think something really bad happened in Arizona, maybe.
Yeah.
Gotta be it, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it did.
Yeah, that
Sounds like
sense.
it.
It was Arizona. Okay. Well, thoughts and prayers to everybody in Arizona.
R.I.P. Razor Fist. I hope he's okay.
Yeah, I hope
Yeah.
he's okay. I mean, he's sitting in 116-degree weather with his fucking leather jacket on and his leather pants. Good for him.
It's gonna be hot.
May he rest in peace. No longer bothered by gender ambiguity. No, it's probably so he can enjoy it full time. Thunderbow for $1.99. Call me Chato is basically non-VTuber. It's a Gundam. There you go. How do you know they're not the same person? Huh? How do you know? Media Man Power for £2 British. Congratulations on becoming a regular Disparu. Thank you. Thank you. That just was stroked out right there. Gary's septic scrotum
Wow.
For $10.
Wow.
It's about to fall off.
Yep. Well, I mean,
some biotics. on
not
that.
getting any younger. Joker 2 takes Lady Gaga's relationship with Joker is all fantasy until the end when they get together and presto, the origin story for Harley Quinn. I think it's probably going to have some of her perspective. That's my guess. That's what this is.
Just like the first one, a lot of it was in his own head. I think this one's going to be the opposite. It's going to be a lot of it is in her head. Imagine this life they could live together. And I think that Joker is going to be kind of like downtrodden, and she's going to convince him to like embrace that again. That's my guess.
I
about
thought
this
the
movie.
trailer was brilliant. I really enjoyed it.
I thought it was good.
I did
it
too.
made me more excited than I previously was for
Yep.
it, because I don't think there should be a Joker 2 at all.
I don't think so. But I didn't think there should be a Joker. And you know what? There's a sign of there's a singular movie that they did something interesting with that did pretty well. No China. It also had a lot of help from the Access Media saying it was going to create incel violence.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
Fucking retards. Sir Lopez for $2. Darth Daddy. Yeah. Good old Cam Crash for $2. Tell Jeremy I'm going to stop by. Seth. Hey, Jeremy. Good old Cam Crash is going to stop by. I'll give him your address. Avox Prime for $9.99. I'm surprised no one is talking about the biggest movie announcement so far this year. The Demon Slayer anime is ending on an in-theater movie trilogy. Holy shit. Japan is flexing its muscles right now. That's going to do well.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
No,
Ryan can't wait.
I've been watching Demon Slayer with my kids. It's actually really fun.
It's a good show. It's good manga too.
Peter Rackus for $5.
Too much crying. A bit too
as much as Star Trek Discovery.
He does cry a lot.
Yeah. Peter Rackus for $5. Hope we get Elrond and Durin digging in Rings of Power Season 2. Well, they were setting it up for sure. Oh, that's just around the corner.
Be digging for something.
Mm-hmm.
Basing a troll on Mike Ehrmantraut from fucking Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul and saying it publicly is the most retarded thing I've heard all fucking year. Like,
I don't. Leslie
No,
Headland
wait.
said you've based the villain on Elden Ring. I mean, they're definitely competing for stupid analogies at this point.
But
It seems
Elden
to be
Ring
anything
fits
that's
more
popular
in
will
Star Wars than Breaking Bad and fucking Better Call Saul fit in Tolkien. I mean,
I do like Mike Ehrmantraut.
I love Mike Ehrmantraut. Probably my favorite character. But I'll just watch Breaking Bad. I want to see Breaking Tolkien. Great U.S. treasure hunt for $5. Nice to see Disparu fixed his hair for his first permanent gig.
What do you mean fixed?
It's literally exactly the same as that's probably the joke.
No, I think he means washed.
Sith cake for $10. I asked last night on OB, but not no one knew. Anyone know what's going on with your boy Zach? He's on a weird Acolyte defense kick, blaming anti-woke YouTubers now who you know who they are. Cheers and happy 4th of July. Zach has done this in the
notoriously
past.
bad taste in movies.
Yeah, that's what I've heard about.
Two things.
Zachy.
Hey, Zach, really good takes on comics. Don't take TV and movie advice, criticism from him, or relationship advice. But other than that, it's fine.
Barber advice.
But it's not the first time.
Yeah, that too, yeah.
It's not the first time. But I do enjoy his multiple videos about Mags Visaggio. Ryan is right for $5. Hype for Hot D this week. It's been great so far. I'm surprised they didn't make the Blackwoods black. Disparu should interrupt more often. Hail 199. He'll learn. Yeah, guys.
I'm British. It's supposed to be manners. That's my issue.
Really?
We just had a British guy on this show that did not grow up learning that.
Man. I'm not from the same region. Maybe it's local.
Okay. What region are you from, Disparu?
I don't normally do that. The thing is that with Americans, it's sort of, or Canadians in this case, your countries are so massive. You say you're in Texas, that's still bigger than my entire nation.
Sure.
If I told you where I was from, you could probably just, like, tell me my own postcode.
Right there. There he is.
But, I mean,
Yeah,
you're not a Geordie.
Chato's
well, yeah,
suddenly
but
trying to
our
touch
accents,
Disparu.
our accents change like every 5 miles, and then bread rolls will have a different name. So you can get very specific. I'm lucky my accent isn't really regional.
It's not okay.
Hapless Lee for $9.99. The Acolyte is really good at introducing me to all you fine and intelligent creators and critics. I don't know about intelligent, but thank you. Chato, I wish I could have worked for you back in the day.
It was fun. I was a good boss.
Albert, not a retro for 20 Canadian pesos. Ryan, it's about spite. I don't care about nude dudes in a TV show or a movie if it's age appropriate. If you flip the script on this, these same women would lose their minds. Same if Valkyrie had been flicked instead of Thor.
And I think if they lost their minds over that, I'd call them retarded.
Yes.
Which is why I have the same standard.
For me,
flick too hard, damn it!
It would make more sense though from like the evil dude being like, no, you need to get out of the water in front of me. Like you have no other choice.
Yeah,
like, that would actually being creepy that way would make more sense than her stalking him around rocks for some reason.
So canonically, it would have worked if they would have used it properly, and we knew it was fanfic garbage that we're going for to lean into the Raylo shit. But the Raylos wanted Raylo. That's what they wanted.
I mean, Star Wars hasn't really done nudity before in my mind. I know they didn't show anything, but it's very explicit that that's his naked.
It's very YA.
That is a little bit beyond, but virtually all you see is exactly what you see when Anakin Skywalker, shirtless in bed with Padme, waking up, and he's fucking toned and ripped as hell, right? Waking up in a sweat because of the dreams he had.
Yep.
So what I'm saying is by people that are going the next level to call this like, oh my God, the degeneracy. It's like,
no. I think it's hypocritical.
It's funny because it's totally agree with yes. But it's memeable. It's just cringe. It's what Garrett said.
Oh, it's so poorly executed and it's cringe and it's awful. But if we're talking about the premise of idea, which I like to do with this show, I like to talk about the premise of an idea and how it could have been utilized in a way that could have been interesting, but they completely are inept in every possible way.
Okay.
That's something I've been doing in almost every aspect of this television show because it's one of the interesting things about it.
Yep.
So I'll do that with that as well.
Luffy the Sun God for $19.99. Headland has been defending her show by claiming it is the most significant piece of art she has ever made. I dare say Amber Heard made a better and more culturally significant piece of art in Johnny Depp's bed. You get applause for that. That's pretty accurate. Mini Steve for $2. Ryan, the Sith face of the Jedi supremacy. Hail FNT. Hail. Celtics fan for $50 on the Streamlabs side. Hey, Gary, what's the story behind how you decided to start FNT and how it grew into what it became today? We don't have time. I will tell that story again, maybe closer to an anniversary story. The short version is I started a podcast. I had generally no life because I'm a sober dude and I don't go out Friday nights, and everybody was streaming on another day. And I'm like, well, let's do it on the worst day possible. Let's do it at Friday night. This is where they send TV shows to die. And that way I can watch a movie on Thursday or Friday morning and we can review it. That was the whole point of bringing it to Friday. Then we wanted to bring in other people. And Odin, who isn't here right now, is like, hey, we should bring in some Geeks and Gamers people. I'm all sure. And then it kind of took off from there. Our first official guests were Critical Drinker and Az. One of them never left. Thank God he finally did. It's just me bullshitting with my friends. This is what I did in the comic store. This is what I did with my friends back in the 90s when we went to a movie. We would fucking roast a movie and bullshit before the movie, bullshit in the movie to the annoyance of a lot of people, and bullshit after the movie. That's what we did. So, yeah. That's the short version.
Wow. I love it.
NC Cell for $19.99. First super chat to celebrate Disparu joining. Finally, proper Anglo representation. There we go. Give him a little chime in. The one guy for $9.99. Check out my Darksaber, the Acolyte. There you go. They already had that. Oh, now we have the origin.
You still don't have a regular Jew, though. I come in and I'm just sort of the house Jew.
Well, we got to have one, you know.
My wife's Jewish. Because I'm adjacent.
I mean, if we get RMB in, we get RMB in.
I have friends that are Jewish.
I'm happy to be your house Jew.
That's your title from now on. That's your title from now on.
I love it. Okay.
Fiesta Cat for $4.99. Come to Texas and get some Bucky's jerky. It's the best it is. Always stop at one when I am home on a trip to Austin from San Antonio. Leave San Antonio as much. The ghost pepper beef jerky, good stuff. It's hot, but it's good. Gary can't pronounce my name for 50. The super chats will continue until Az returns. I will break you, Gary. No. I mean, yes. Okay, thank you. That's going to be a while. We were actually thinking about bringing him back for a guest, but it was too soon.
We need a fucking
very
break,
next
right?
week.
It's like SNL bringing Chevy Chase back too soon. You got to wait like 10 years.
10 years, yes. Grunt812 for 10 British pounds. Hail to Friday Night Tights. Hail the Friday Night Tights posse. Happy 4th of July. Hashtag free Chato from Canada. The banter is diverse opinions in equal amounts with an inclusive attitude. Q. Could Chrissy's beaver act better? Yes.
Nerdrotic.
Thank you for $9.99. I heard the latest episode of The Acolyte takes place on the home planet of the Wookiees, and no, I didn't misspell Wookiees. There you go. Andy LDN for $2. There is no TV app in the UK for Rumble, by the way. Rumble, let's work on that.
I'm sure they're working on it.
Are they on Roku yet, Ryan? Weren't they supposed to be on Roku at some point? Or a TV app?
No, you watch on your phone.
You can watch it on your phone. Well, more and more people are watching. I watch YouTube in the home theater now. I do. You can watch the chat and
I'm amazed by how many people watch YouTube on their TV, like on their smart TV.
40%.
That's crazy.
40% of YouTube viewers are on their TV.
And that's like shocking because I never fucking watch YouTube on my TV. I almost exclusively watch it on my phone. And if I'm at the desk doing work, I'll watch on my computer. But almost everything I do is on the phone.
I mean, before I pulled the plug on it, my kids ended up watching heaps of YouTube on TV, but then they ended up just watching random crap. And so I was like, nah, none of that. And now they're watching cool stuff. I walked in and my son was watching Lord of the Rings, and I'm like, that's my boy.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. And so, yeah, you restrict what they have access to and give them only the good stuff, and then they gravitate towards it, and then they...
I'm not even that strict, and my kid's like, after this, we're gonna see. He wants to see Police Squad. He's never.
Oh, nice!
So we're gonna watch Police Squad. And he asked me that. I'm all yes. Let's go.
Hilarious show, man.
I watched Monty Python and the Holy Grail for the first time with my older kids the other night. They just friggin' loved it, and so now I wanna show them like the goofy stuff. I want to watch an aeroplane with them and maybe
show them Flying Circus. Flying Circus is prophetic. It is still prophetic to this day. There is some comedy that really hits for today's stuff.
I force my children to watch our TV show 4 on the Floor over and over again.
You should. You should.
I do. I force them.
You're a Dr. Demento legend, dude.
I am.
Yes, you are.
And I met him. I do.
How is he? Cool guy?
He's just the sweetest guy in the world. And a huge comedy fan. Really, I don't know what comedians would have done without him. Like many of us, huge support.
Paul Chato from the Frantics, by the way. Yep. Boot to the head. Boot to the head was number 1 a lot.
2 years in a row.
Yeah, 2 years in a row. The Dr. Demento show. Listen to it every Sunday night.
That was great. There we go.
Yes.
Thank you.
Who's hotter?
Wow.
Acolyte beat.
I like it.
I think the craziest part is I assumed that
I thought you were gonna say
lesbians.
I thought you were gonna say
the
craziest part is yours is hotter.
It's weird. You would think that, but it's because they're just on board with the narrative, the whole agenda that Hollywood is pushing, and Star Wars. The Force is female now, so they're catering for the female audience that they want to attract, and that's doing great.
I think the biggest lie is that any of the modern people involved in it, and maybe even some of the actors, when they say we know that they lie when they've watched the Star Wars or anything. It's like everybody hates Star Wars. That's the truth.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's no next generation of people getting into it. That's truly when it's going to die. It's not just because we're upset at it, because we're mad at it, or whatever. It's truly going to die when this next generation, these kids that are between the ages of 10 and 20, basically, not kids, but you know what I mean? Like, they are not getting into it, and it's going to be done.
Oh yeah, who would get into this? Like, there aren't going to be any memories of this.
Yeah, it's gonna die, and people are gonna forget about it. Like, seriously, who's gonna remember the Acolyte? A year.
I will.
Yeah.
I'll be using clips.
You can't fucking spell it, Shad.
Yeah, there are some good clips from this that will be usable for a very long time.
Well, outside of that, I'm talking about no one will remember it as
Yeah,
it has no
the
cultural
memes will
relevance.
be remembered forever.
You know what? I'm rewatching The Avengers with Emma Peel and
Yeah,
Steve.
it's a good show.
And it is just, I mean, some of them are crappy, but they're memorable. They're just so fun. And speaking of, we're talking about action and dialogue. I just watched one where Emma Peel came in, Steve threw her an epi. She picked up an epi, and they're just talking about dinner and what stuff as he's talking about the adventure that they need to investigate, and they're just fighting each other with swords while they're talking about stuff and not trying to knock all sorts of tchotchkes down. It's not hard to do. You just need to be talented enough to write it and have fun with it. These people are not having fun when they're writing. It's completely clear. There's no joy in what they're writing.
No.
It's activism.
It's activism and obligatory, and that's it. Disparu, you wanted to mention something?
Sorry.
Yes. I'm on sort of every week along with X-Ray Girl and Comics. We do Geeks and Gamers Tabletop. Before with this, we've been doing Dungeons and Dragons campaign, but we started a new one in Savage Pathfinder. The creation stream, the character creation stream for that is tomorrow over on the Geeks and Gamers Tabletop channel. So if you're interested in that, go over, subscribe, and this should be a really fun campaign. There's been a lot of issues with the Dungeons and Dragons one's been very limited, and Epic Mike has been saying this campaign is the system is a lot better and more fun to get into. And despite the fact that in this one I have to be good, which I don't know how you're going to do, isn't really my strong point. The character should be interesting all the same, and I've made it particularly creepy.
Do you go full murder hobo? Is that
kind of?
I mean, I may have worshipped an evil god and gone around slaughtering people in her name.
Of course!
Yes, the answer is yes.
I still did all the good things, but no, in this one, I get to be dark, but I still have to do the good things. But yeah, so I made him very creepy instead.
There you go.
5 p.m. Eastern.
WG on the Streamlabs side for $25. You can bash showrunners for breaking lore all you want, but you guys broke FNT lore when you recast Az with Disparu. Who's going to interrupt all the super chats now, huh? What's next? Zero Black Garrett, Tall Comics, Gamer Gary, Straight Ryan, # respect the lore.
Imagine you just replace someone and put them like in a wig, and they just never even mentioned it.
Lady,
you need to shave your head.
Aaron Seraph and the Crow Goddess has donated £1 Thank you, which is worth more than $1, by the way, at least for now, till your socialist commie government takes over in a couple of weeks or something like that. Yeah.
No, it's instantaneousry.
Wow. Hey, good luck. Clarkson's Farm's gonna be fucking awesome next season.
The conservatives screwed themselves.
Yes, they did.
Blew it.
Exactly. I mean,
we got to get through chats.
Yeah,
they blew it. I was getting my political analysis from Count Dankula, personally, but not joking. That's who I was.
You can trust him.
That's who's on the stream I was watching.
Respectable.
Actually, he is. Hail, Count Dankula. Wisco D for $10. Where are the heavyweight writers, directors, producers that we grew up on Star Wars and came to Hollywood because of Star Wars? You would think they would band together to call this shit out. They would be fired. They're afraid to talk. That's the
sadly.
deal. D for 20 euros. Master Nepo Jedi is not the only Nepo on the ejaculate. The whole show is apparently Nepo cast and crew. No wonder why it sucks. No talent. It is all about what you know. As Ryan has stated, at least a couple of the roles, no audition required. Mm-hmm. Nick Brony.
Amandla wasn't an audition.
And neither was Smile.
Neither was Yord. I think Manny Jacinto as well. Obviously Rebecca Henderson.
So
Nick Brony for $4.99. Excuse me while I whip this out. The Acolyte 2024. Oh, damn it. That's a missed opportunity. That's a missed opportunity. Oh, she'll probably whip it out again. Gojira Star. 5477 for $10. Hail FNT and the Fellowship. It's been a rough couple of months. My mom passed away. I'm sorry. Last week.
Sorry to hear that.
Condolences. Thank you all for helping me find a distraction in the sadness. I'm glad we can help in any way, relieve some of that. But rest in peace, Mom. How am I going to say this last name?
If you need help eating her, just
Papa
give me the
Sergio.
address.
Wow.
John Pasergio for $4.99. He is like an old Canadian Gundam, isn't he?
Yeah, he kind of is.
John Papa Sergio for $4.99. You see what happens when you leave a woman, Darth Nepo, in charge? The Jedi fall apart and die. Well, maybe this. That's a good point. Gene the Machine for $20. Wouldn't it be better for writing that Smilo left May for dead, then took Osha to make her his acolyte, forcing May to receive help from Master Squid Game in order to rescue her sister? Therefore, the two would develop together. Yeah, I mean, maybe if that all happened in episode 2. Yeah, was that?
That's probably what we're about to see.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. I think that's correct.
In two episodes, that'll probably be one episode, and it'll have the same amount of plot development and character development as 15 minutes of a House of the Dragon episode for the entire series.
You could have an ending where May gets killed and in the arms of Osha, and she goes, "I'm sorry, I set fire to the rocks."
Justin Hudson, guitar. Is it guitar? God damn it. For $5, the collective coverage of the Acolyte was 10 times longer than the show itself, but at least it's funny and entertaining. Love you guys, but make it stop. 2 weeks. 2 weeks it stopped.
Oh, thank God. Two more episodes. That's it. It's
and then Rings of Power.
Else. Yeah.
Rings of Power.
Oh no. I think I'll avoid that. I love the Fermaculite.
Theseus Minor for 70 Zardozes. That's South African pesos. Sun Yi and Lu Yan, twins separated at birth, reunited after 30 years, found they shared the same fashion hairstyle and gave their sons the same name. Genetics partly determines personal preferences. Partly.
That's not a bad take. Not a bad take.
Yeah, so they got this really unique hairstyle, exactly the same.
Yep, they went to the same salon.
Yeah.
If it's even, well, that's a wig, obviously, but I don't know if it is within the canon. It's supposed to be their hair. Southeastern Kaiju on the Streamlabs side for $1. It's not review bombing, it's review bomb. It's reviewing a bomb. Reviewing a bomb.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I agree.
Nergy Knows Best for $10. Gary, can't put my finger on it, but this episode has some new pizzazz and seems to have lost some old piss as, but no, that doesn't pass. That doesn't pass, and it doesn't pass here, which is
you shall not pass.
Thank you for the $10. Darian Murphy for $4.99. Disney-related news: Abigail Disney and other major Democrat donors announced that they will withhold further donations to Dems until Joe Biden drops out.
Wow,
I'm against that. I am against that. We need to keep the old man in the office.
Yeah, I agree. You agree on that
entertaining.
Decency or some
I mean,
shit.
if Disney really wants to help, then they would just pull Joe out of the Hall of the Presidents and have that run.
It'd look more put together.
Abigail Disney is an argument for maybe like you can. Inheritance needs to go one generation. That's about it. Mr. Blurred Out for $10. Fun fact: Ed Kemper narrated the Star Wars audiobooks for the blind cassettes in the 70s, and I think even he could tell you that the Jedi are the good guys and the Sith are the bad guys. Well, with that helmet, it's supposed to. Okay, so it's a lightsaber will bounce off it, and it's like sensory deprivation. So it's like the younglings' helmets when they were training, but So I get the concept. It's just you and the Force. That's it. But the problem is he had a whole fucking conversation with that helmet on. So he could hear and talk. Now, seeing, there's little slits too. But if you want to sell me on
things that didn't quite make sense, right? Because he didn't have a full-on conversation.
Yes.
Which is
But if you want to sell me that you put that helmet on, it makes you Daredevil basically, right? And you're just using purely the Force to fight. Okay, that'd be kind of awesome. You know,
I want to know where the batteries are for all these helmets that give you a different voice. Like where do they put the voice augmenting system? And every single one of these helmets changes your voice.
She sounded like Darth Vader when she put it on.
She Vadered big ounce for $5. Hail FNT. The other news, Smilo Ren is attacking Beardo over Soul leaving to go get some milk. Hail the Fellowship. There you go.
And a pack of smokes.
Mr. Hardcore Mode for $5. Gear porn examples when John Wick modded a revolver mid-fight. Cool. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, even in Furiosa, that's like Mad Max is nothing but gear porn.
Yep.
That's all it is.
Yep.
Dude, the sound mix on that with the fucking cars and the choppers is so good.
Look at Schwarzenegger in Commando.
Yep.
That one scene where he's just arming up. Like that's pure. That's pure gear porn.
When we're done, Shad, that's why we're trying to power through. Okay. How embarrassing is contrasting the Ejaculate and House of the Dragon, IQ 140 versus 300? Truth be told, all the content about this show is giving too much attention. It's not worth the time of anyone older than 9 years old. Well, wait a minute, D. Thank you for the 20 euros. But not Red Letter Media, but the guy who was going after us, we EFAP'd last week, said Star Wars is for 12-year-olds. Was this for 12-year-olds? Well, none of it's for 12-year-olds because there's no fucking young people watching the show, by the way. There's zero.
Yeah. And I want better content for 12-year-olds.
And
on a limb.
Ruby for 70 Zardoz, I thought there'd be less interruptions this FNT, but I guess you all decided to channel some ads. Hail Disparu, Chato is hilarious. Love the vids. Hail FNT, thank you very much. Nicholas Kreiser for $5. Looks like
Styrofilmosis.
Thank you. Fiesta Cat for $4.99. Who gives a fuck about his scar? He's Sith. Their training is evil. They should have scars. It's supposed to be important. You forgot scar on his well-toned body. Okay, scar.
Well, I wouldn't have really cared about him just having a scar if they hadn't specifically brought it up in
twice.
My master thing.
Yes.
It was the tramp stamp up behind his ass that really bothered me.
PerkTube 1 for $20. Vernestra. Ask your doctor if Venestra is right for you. Symptoms may include laser whiplash, light resemblance to Annie Lennox. Sweet dreams are made of these. Hyperspace sickness and can't understand Korean English. Oh, that's good. That was good.
Sweet dreams are made of these. That is going to be our next bad
I did mention in my first review that Venestra sounds like a vaginal cream.
It does. It probably is named after one because May and OSHA are part of our soap, right? A Canadian soap company. It's yeah.
Interesting.
OSHA May. 2 penny puppet for $4.99. Oh shit, today's Friday. I'm at Six Flags. Damn. Oh well, bounce to my morning routine with my coffee. Peace out. Cheers. Have fun at Six Flags. Cannoli engineer for $20. Hail, getting to catch this one live thanks to time off for 4th of July. Have you seen Sargon's video comparing Disney Lucasfilm to cargo cults? Yes. Feels pretty accurate. Yes. I think that's a good analogy. He makes a very good analogy.
Pretty good, yeah.
Stay-at-home hippo for $10. I found it hilarious that after it's been discussed twice, having now connected in the Force yet and fell out of her training, OSHA held Kymir's lightsaber as if she was going to hold him back. Force pull. She just wanted to pick it up. She could have, and hold it in her hands. And he's like,
Yeah, she wanted to feel its thickness.
She did.
Yeah, it's not about how long it is; it's about the girth.
Woman finds a new vibrator in Star Wars. Jason Webster for $5 Australian dollars. Is severe constipation impeding life? Try new Acolyte. Strong on constipation, gentle on stomachs. Now in blue milk flavor. There you go. Jason Webster for $10 Australian dollars. In a theme park far, far away with the failure of the Acolyte, Darth Iger and Darth Insufferable, Kathleen Kennedy, from the death of Epcot star, contemplate their next move. From the death Epcot star. Well, it'll be, what's the next show, Ryan? What's the next show? Skeleton Crew.
Skeleton Crew, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mark Salmonfink for $5. You guys hyped for One Piece live action season 2? I am. They casted Polka Dot Man as Mr. 3. It's perfect. It's good casting so far. We will see. Josh Kelsey has dropped 20 and walks away because that's what he does. Thank you. Grand Potato for $1.99. Darth
Pedesphile.
Pedesphile. Christopher Miller for $10. It's not superhero fatigue. It's bad writing fatigue. We want intriguing character development to witness the struggle, the defeat, the learning, the redemption. That's it. They need to go back to pulp. There's a lot of good pulp stories.
Yep, I agree.
They wouldn't cost a lot of money for one. You could shoot those in a back lot, and it'd be cool. Valig Evermore for $5. Tell me what you cherish the most, so I will know what to take from you, and tell me what you crave, so that I might deny you. Darth Kennedy. Stephen DeLon for $2. Love Gary's Dave Filoni hat. Hashtag fig. It's not black, and I don't fuck my dog. So Osprey 7652 for $5. Thank you for the super sticker. Hiya Leo for $4.99. Y'all just closeted bigots. Ryan isn't. Nobody's closeted here. The show is fire. Y'all consider Kyber a Sith, but not an Asajj or Savage. Not every dark side user is Sith, but he said he was. So, like,
Not only did he imply that he was, but then in an interview he said he was.
Yep.
Trust me, I've been preaching the fuck out of that to everybody that'll listen, because not every person that's bad, not every person the Jedi have fought over the last 1,000 years was a fucking Sith. There's fallen Jedi. There's other different cults out there. There's shit. Which is why even when presented with evidence, like someone with a red lightsaber attacked me, the Jedi's first instinct was not that it was a Sith, that it had to be some other explanation.
Yep. SFX F314 Saber-Tooth Raptor for $5.
I would. My first guess would have been immigrants.
There you go. For $5. Hail all. Wally was has no creativity left. Oh, Wally was. No script doctors to make great stories. Wish I was watching Culture Casino's Island if it was made. Is that some Culture Casino lore? Hail Culture Casino.
I don't know that.
I think it is.
Oh.
Hail Culture Casino. Jesus Davila, thank you for the gifting one Nerdrotic membership. What's up, brother? Saw him at Dallas. I saw you at Dallas, right? It was Dallas. TJ Jordan for $5. Now that who the fuck is Az? Can have his Friday nights back and do nothing but play video games. I vote for It's a Gundam to replace him. Long live the Fellowship. We have a new host. His name is Disparu.
He's right there.
He's right there.
I just need to take more drugs or something.
Welcome to the
no.
Be more depressed. Be more depressed.
I love It's a Gundam. He will be back on this show, and that's all I'm going to say. Next week. There you go.
That's right. He is.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I love Papa Gundam, by the way. And
I agree.
Yeah, he's great. Disney will make OT Star Wars unavailable soon. Well, it is. It's unavailable. The original trilogy in its true form is unavailable. And George did that, not Disney.
Mm-hmm. Nay. If you have
DJ
the right
maybe
person.
for $5 British pounds. Yeah, we got it right here. A good comic book crossover movie will be Batman and Judge Dredd. That's a multiverse movie I would watch. They've done that. Haven't they done that?
In the comics, yeah.
Yeah, in the comics. Oh, you're talking about movie. Okay. Yes, that would be a good crossover. That would be a good crossover. You know what was a good crossover comic? Was Ash versus Evil Dead meets Freddy meets Jason.
Yes.
That was good shit.
It's canon, damn it. It's canon.
Ron Peterson for $2. Budget should be measured in Godzilla -1s. I've said that. So the last episode was almost 2 Godzilla -1s. Remember for Ash versus Marvel Zombies?
Yes.
There
That was
you go.
awesome as well.
Yeah.
Perfect synergy.
MDNB for $5. Finally back on Rumble. Yes. Commando on the Streamlabs side for $5. I'm surprised they didn't cast Shudigatwa in the Acolyte somehow just to ruin Doctor Who Star Wars at the same time. Well, they did that. Well, anybody talk about Doctor Who anymore, by the way?
No, only the pure Doctor Who channels are the ones talking about it.
And they hated it at the end.
It's just so
Yes.
bad.
Well, that was the thing. You had the people that sort of like classic Doctor Who, they didn't like it immediately, but then even the fans of this series of Doctor Who hated that finale.
Really? That's interesting.
So ruining at the same time, Disparu knows too well how much he flipping cries. Yes, he cries a lot. And the only thing that the new RTD series did was the classic Who fans who fucking hated RTD no matter back in the day were just like, told ya! Fucking told ya! And, you know. And the last one, David J. on the Streamlabs side for $2.02. Obviously, Joe Biden is a member of the modern audience. If he wants to identify as a black woman, you go, girl. I agree. All right. So we're wrapping up here on YouTube. We're going to run the credits. Go pee. Go what you need to do. Go over to that green app. And when the credits are done, we are going to start our bonus hour. We have a couple of topics. We're going to talk about Hollywood austerity and the coverage or lack thereof of Neil Gaiman's accusations, innocent until proven guilty.
And I also
Do you want me to
suspect
stick
Ryan-
around on Rumble?
If you want, yes.
And Ryan is probably going to drop a couple of slurs as well. Just expecting it.
We'll see.
We'll see.
No promises.
All right.
Bite my back bake.
So
Bye.
thank you to the Nerdrotics. Thanks to everyone who left a super chat donation. Thanks to all the lurkers. Thanks to everybody. We'll see you next week with It's a Gundam. But there's actually more over on the green app. So catch us in a little bit.
In a few minutes.
See ya.
Yeah, there we go. Special effects.
Hey, it's
Do not come. Do not come.
I'm gonna come.